So hello everyone, this is AetherNightmare and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. So I'm in a different outfit today because it is time for a new job class here in Kurthus. So let us set out and get to that. Seems a little chilly for Kurthus, but we'll work on that as we get there. Now it should be over here. Let's just get ourselves out of the broom. As soon as we find our way out of the broom. Was it up? Yeah, it's up. So there are 3 job classes that we're going to be taking on in Heavensward, and I'm going to start at the Skyfield Manufactory because it takes the longest and I want to get it out of the way. Also, it's just a good class in general, from what I've read. And a little bit different compared to the other ones. So let's talk to Stephanian. I thought I was going to say Stevenson, but Stephanian. My prospectomer seems to be fond of you. Let's see, shall we? Odd garb, striking presence. Would I be right in assuming that you are one of those adventurous types? I thought as much. My prospectomer seldom lies, and let me just say, you have made the right choice in visiting our humble workshop. Welcome to the Sky Steel Manufactory, where miracles are born from aether, metal, and imagination. From cannons to ballistas, we develop and manufacture a range of weapons designated for slaying dragon invaders. But we are also accepting students who wish to take up a firearm and learn the techniques of the Machinist. What say you? Are you interested in joining us and exploring the Machinist discipline? Yes. You are. Well, of course you are. Otherwise, my prospectometer would not have registered your obvious interest. In my excitement, I've neglected to introduce myself. The name is Stephen... Oh my god. Stephen Ivan? Stephen Ivan del Halienter. And you are? Bren? Savior of Sky Steel. Bren, is it? Well, Bren, allow me to welcome you once more to the Sky Steel Manufactory. As I mentioned before, 'tis our charge to develop and manufacture weapons as designated for slaying dragon invaders. But pray forget about those tired old inventions. The future lies in machinistry, a technology that weds the genius of Master Garland's Magitech with traditional aetherology. Every single one of my latest creations employs the principles of this unique discipline. And in the steady hands of trained machinists, my new inventions are going to alter the very face of warfare. Though I would dearly love to expand upon my revolutionary theories, we should begin by familiarizing you with the tools of the trade, so to speak. Have you time for a brief lesson? I also need to get so much of this armor out of my inventory. That's another reason to start. Splendid. Now the first thing you must learn is the proper technique for handling a fire. Where in the hell is our master of marksmanship? I swear the man is never about when I need him the most. How dreadfully embarrassing. Here I've mercilessly piqued your interest, and now I must ask you to call again at a later convenience. Mayhap the next time you visit, our instructor will deign to put in an appearance. Then we can outfit you with the equipment necessary to learn basic marksmanship, and I might explain to you the particulars of the machinist profession. I'm afraid he's gone for good this time, my lordship. Left a letter of resignation on your workbench and all. Oh, confound the man. We cannot afford to lose such a pivotal employee at this crucial juncture of our growth. Joy, prepare mine accoutrements. I shall drag that scoundrel back by the lapels if need be. But my lordship, we ain't even sure where to start looking. You make a salient point, my dear. My prospectomer points to the lands of Lenosha. Ah, yes, I should have realized that he would return to his homeland. Lenosha, me lordship. Are you sure you want to go there? I heard it's a nasty place where folks will clout you across the face as soon as look at you. And yet it's where I began my journey. Aye, well, I must admit to a little familiarity with its environs. Hark, Joy, the prospectomer chirps again. I know it's prospectometer, but it's hard to say. Of course, our aspiring machinist. We shall have the worldly Bren here act as our guide. For an explorer who has braved the harshest corners of Eorzea, the wilds of Lenosha must be akin to a garden path. Is that not so? I just put a garden path. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. No. Now, no false modesty. Whatever knowledge you have of the place must far exceed ours, no matter your propositions. You will consent to guide us, will you not? Then 'tis settled. Joy here, in addition to her loyal service to House Holly and Dare, is the finest shot in the manufactory. As a novice machinist, I suggest you mark her technique well during our little jaunt to Lenosha. Speaking of which, we must needs decide on somewhat less vague destination. I seem to recall our absent instructor mentioning companions from Camp Overlook. Let that be our first port of call. Okay, but are you gonna give me my dang job? Okay, top marks. Savior of Skysteel. There we go. Because you don't start with basic classes anymore. They scrapped that concept. So we're going to be starting as a full class, and it doesn't need to devolve from any other classes. You can just jump right in. Oh, what a stench. I think I'm going to be sick. Of what? So, this is Camp Overlook. Indeed, the inhabitants do seem the type to cloud a man in the face for a how do you do. Shall we make some inquiries after our prematurely retired instructor? Let us rendezvous at this spot once we've gathered what intelligence we may. So I've heard you can also solo some dungeons with this class. Which is why I might be interested in it. A bloke laid a wish guard? There was a stranger come about after and asked one of our lads. Told him the sorry sod was looking for the cabin by the lift. Resting up from an axe wound. You mean that big Rogan bastard? You'll find him pacing the boards in front of the infirmary. Some of the lads seen him to know the bloke, but no bugger seems eager to say how. Heck if I know, sir. I'm just here on business. I've seen him all right. Got himself a cold reception, too. You can't come apologizing for a deed of the decade old, just expecting to be forgiven. Not just that, but only when you need something as well. Oops, sorry, a little too close. Affair to your interrogations. Would seem our man came here to visit an old acquaintance. It looked like I'm hugging him. In the vicinity of Winch, you say? Let's investigate this infirmary, then. Were the conditions of your employment not satisfactory? Return with us to the manufactory and we can discuss more favorable terms. I understand the Ishgardians presently accord machinists rather less than the respect they deserve, but I promise you, our worth shall shine through in due time. People will clamor to learn our profession. You cannot abandon us now, Ross Nathal. Think of our future. Leave me be. One more step and I'll blow your yapping jaw off. Joy, if you please. She's a Southern belle with a gun. And one heck of a shot to boot. You shite-eating bastard. Next time I'll aim for the shaft twixt your thighs. Are you not proud? 'Twas you taught Joy everything she knows about shooting, and spitting colorful profanity besides. Ah, the lass has learned me lessons well. Well enough to be your new master of marksmanship, I'd wager. The fact that they give her a transformation is so interesting. Like, she has a split personality. Do you think so? Oh, but no, Joy is far too busy with their duties at the manor house. Do you have an issue with one of your servants being a good marksman? And besides, we have this budding machinist who is simply dying to learn from the great Rosnathal. I have been dragged into this. But I haven't even held a gun yet. Buffalo shite. Any scrag who's known me would rather I did the dying. Oh, just look at you, the epitome of a roguish swashbuckler. Oh, I can't say the word swashbuckler. Why ever did you cease brandishing your weapon in that fashion? Because it's bad to aim it that way. You're probably gonna miss whatever you're shooting at. Because only pirates come hold a firearm like this, and I ain't gonna teach the machinist way to no hopeless sausage-fingered venturer who you dragged in off the street. Excuse me, I have very slender, pretty fingers, thank you. Then are you saying that if our sausage-fingered adventurer shows a glimmer of hope, you will consent to instruct them? Did you hear that? 'Tis your chance to display your aptitude for marksmanship. Here, I took the liberty of packing some extra tools for the trade. Convince our reluctant instructor that you're serious in your intentions. Hey, I mean, I guess. The way I hold it, with one hand perfectly balanced in the center, like I don't know what it is. You have the look of a immense adventure about you. Fine, Stephanian, I'll give you a whelp one bloody chance. One lesson to see what they're made of. Ah, the fate of the Sky Steel Manufactory, nay, the future of machinistry, is in your sausage-fingered hands. Stop saying that! Take up your weapon and aim for the stars. If you think anything about my hands is sausage-related, then that says more about whatever you're packing. I will start calling you Pencil Dick. Don't think I won't. And we get our starting set. A steel barred carbine, a toadskin jacket, and toadskin braze. Along with our job, well, I wouldn't call it a stone. Machinist unlocked. The mean machine. Alright, gotta equip. Can change to Soul of the Machinist. Unlike other soul crystals, the surface of this multi-aspected stone has yet to be carved with a record of past deeds. Because it's not really a soul crystal, you must first change your... Oh, right. I gotta change my weapon first before I can put on the... Okay. And there we go. It automatically gives me the soul crystal. Because it's not really a soul crystal as much as it is, just resin. It's just a resin to look like we have a soul crystal to make us feel special, which is funny. Alright, glamour plate. Equip some new rings. What is this, 28? This is level 1, so I could definitely change that out. It's just that I have, like, no room in my darn pants closet. Gonna have to get rid of some of the stuff. The fact that they give you some things to begin with, I guess I can get rid of that. And put these in here. Put an armory. There we go. We should have stuff in the top already. There we go. Suddenly, pants. Old outfit looked better, but we get what we get. You must persuade Rosenthal to return to us. His lordship has such high hopes for the manufactory's future, I'd hate to see him disappointed. Oh, and that's the other thing, is it automatically set up our traits, so, potency of 100, slug shot, split shot. I don't know what any of these are yet. So we get to mess around with it a little bit. Let's just put them out for now. We can remove this, we can remove this. usually have this somewhere over here. Because I don't know what any of these are yet. Yay. For a first time, you look good and comfortable with the carbine. Pity that comfort will only last right up till you shoot the bleeding thing. Right here is a few pointers before we start, so you don't put a round through your damn foot. Aim the barrel at your target, squeeze the trigger, not too bloody hard, mind, and boom goes the firearm. It's your shots what'll decide the kind of damage you can do with any particular weapon. Next, let's talk about the contraption at your waist. Now, I don't rightly understand, but the boss tells me it'll draw the aether in your body and turn it into spark, what feeds new devices and he's working on, so basically it's a bomb. Oh, and pray do not forget to carry your soul of the Machinist. I based the design on more traditional soul crystals, and it'll act as a focal point for the energy converters performed by the Aether Transformer. That'd be the contraption Rosenthal mentioned. You've learned all Machinist actions and traits to level 30. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits windows, assessed under the character in the main menu. So unlike other job classes, you don't start at level 1, you start at level 30. So at least it'll make leveling up easier in the background. Alright, that's all you're getting for now. Follow me and we'll see how you fare in the field, or you can throw the carbine in the bushes and flee like the muskrat whipped cur. Them's your choices. Where the heck is we going? We're going over here. And we also get Peloton, so we can run faster. I should just bird it. Forget. I have access to this, you goofball. Alright, guess we're getting our introduction early. Okay, so this combos into that. Which combos into this, which means it probably should be over here. Okay, so that's a 3-hit combo. Usually I have, like, great... Can I get a moment? Yeah, there's not gonna be a ranged, because the whole thing is ranged. There's something else have to be there. Yeesh. Now what's this? Hotshot. Delivers it with attack of the Fort-C of 240. This weapon skill does not share a recall timer with any other actions. Okay, so that's probably just free damage. Headshot. Guarantees that the next weapon skill is a critical direct hit. Increases damage dealt when under the effects of a critical hit rate or critical direct. And you? Delivers an attack potency with 130, but takes 2 charges of some sort of gauge. Willing to take my test then, eh? The rule is simple. Make your way towards Ermitshovel and shoot what you're told to shoot. I shall wait for you at the end of your trial, Bren. I have every confidence that you shall impress our instructor with your enthusiasm and potential. Alright, we're gonna have us a good old-fashioned hunt. Joyce will give you instructions while I eyeball your marksmanship. Okay. Golems will be your first target. Focus on getting a feel for range and rhythm. Try to avoid corals. You don't want to waste your ammunition. Alright, assault golems? Where am I going? Assuming wants me out here. Just run from stuff from now. Since it usually tends to give up. Yeah, after a while. There we go. There's a basalt golem. Let's give this a try. Alright, 1 of 3. Easy enough, I just gotta find the things. Before things find me. Do you mind? Okay, yeah, those are just 2 free shots, similar to Bard. The spread shot. Delivers attack to all enemies before you. Okay, so that's our AoE. I'll put that over here for beginners then. I'll probably change it around a lot, but... Next up, we're hunting bombs. Which are located where? Feat training. What? Incendiaries? I heard something like spawn in. Are there bombs around here? Bombs are usually like over here. So I probably have to come back. Seriously, it doesn't tell me. No, I can't go back over there. The bomb's supposed to be in here somewhere. Okay. Bombs are typically in this zone. Highland Condor. Okay, nothing over here. Must be off this way then. Let's take the top route. Ooh, there's one. Oh, I see. They planted them themselves. I was wondering why they were called that. Saw another one through the gaps. There it is. Ooh, let's not piss off the coral. Nothing like learning how to fire a gun, point blank range. We'll teach you how to aim. Gives me targets that get up in my face. We don't have a gauge yet. There's supposed to be a gauge. So that must come later. Not bad. Let's see you against some proper nasties, though, eh? Ain't they done enough for a beginner? Not by a long shot. I want to see skins from a pair of Oma kids and a pair of tigers. You want them to fail. I ain't letting you cheat, his lordship. If you're gonna bend the rules, then so will I. Oh wait, if you're gonna bend the rules, then so am I. Do what you gotta do. I'll be waiting for you at for the skins at the Oval. Cheating scum. Come on, Bren. I don't even know where she is. There she is. I mean, I take it it's basically a boss. Okay, Oh, she's distracted it. Got it, cool. Docile. Make-aids, which is this. Were-rat looking thing. Ringtail tigers. Literal tigers. Gonna have to take out the ringtail though. I don't want to kill tigers. Tigers are very smart and deserve respect. Tiger's pissed at you, it's probably your fault. Just saying. We do have foot graze, similar to Bard. Damn it. I already fired the shot. Just takes lag before it actually goes boom. Joyce, you want to help out with the thing that's not even on the list? Head for the Hermit's Hovel. I'm going. Monkey at my back, but I'm gone. You bring them skins then? Even with young Joyce's help, you did well. Huzzah, you'll return to the manufactory with us then? I said they did well, not that we was done. You still got one last target to take down. Me. And Brand's got talent, but they can't win against Rosenthal. The man truly is being bothersome, Bren. Would you be so kind to give the instructor a good drubbing? You don't really duel with a gun unless you want a very particular outcome. Just saying, is that an axe on yours? Or did you switch to an axe? Yeah, he switched to an axe. He's not using a gun anymore. Just get you all kinds of messed up. Don't rush your shots. Basically, the tutorial is saying stay away from him. But he has paladin skills. He's wielding an axe, but he has paladin skills. Yeah, those are paladin moves. Because this is the run and gun class. All thrilling performance. You survived the manufactory. You've saved the manufactory. Well, I've also survived it, considering I'm getting shot at. Don't know, I can't speak today. Well, there you are, instructor. Bren has proven their potential beyond the shadow of a doubt. You're a man of your word, are you not? I'll come back to your bloody workshop, but do you know why I left in the first place? To once more breathe the salty air of your beloved homeland? I ain't got no love for Lenosha. In fact, I'd be happy if I never saw the place again. Then why would you inconvenience us by fleeing to a locale you so clearly despise? For a sack of gelt the size of my bloody head. I don't know who I was working for, but some bloke came around offering me good money to ship anchor, so I did. Someone paid you to abandon the manufactory? Who would do such a thing? Like I said, I ain't never seen the side afore, but if I show my face at the workshop, his boss is gonna want the gelt back, I reckon. Pity I already spent it all on grog. Oh, no, no, no. You'll not wiggle through my grasp that easily. I shall pay debt, and in return you will instruct every would-be machinist who walks through our door. Well, you got one bugger worth teaching at least. I guess it's back to the frigid arms of Lady Ishgard for me. He really is a clueless noble. Was that wise, my lordship? The Haliente or coffers ain't exactly fit for bursting. Oh, yes, you're quite right. We are rather short on coin. But I'm certain a thorough inspection of the ledgers will turn up a spare gill or two. We are not cooking the books to get this man back on them. You can't put a price on good people, my lordship. That you cannot, my dear. Rosenthal may be a touch standoffish at times, but none can dispute his eye for marksmanship. Such talk aside, I sense the business we had in these parts is not concluded to his satisfaction. Would that the man could confide in me his troubles, I suppose I shall have to content myself with the thought of his return. But you, Bren, you have exceeded my every expectation. Pray join me back at the manufactory that I might thank you in a manner that befits your accomplishments. So, do I get paid for being here too, or... Anyway, back to the manufactory. Back to the cold. Job stone in hand. For there was much leveling to do in between. At least with these classes, you can use Peloton inside the cities to move faster. Oops. Went into the pole. Went through the poles. Ah, the savior of Sky Steel Manufactory. I'd hope to furnish you with a suitable reward, but glance at the ledger's counsels has me a wearisome prudence. Thus, instead of presenting you with the firearm of the finest materials and latest design, I must humbly ask that you make do with the dated model I gave you at Camp Outlook. Ah, and I must also pass the message to you from Rosenthal. He asks that you take the skills he has taught you thus far and master him in the furnace of battle. Well, something to that effect. I assume he means to offer you further instruction once you display a sufficient level of competence, and such a day can hardly be distant for one of your talents, eh, Bren? Okay, we get another move. The Hypercharge grants 5 stacks of overheat and increases the potency of single-target weapon skills, effects only applicable to Machinist. That might be our gauge. Under the tutelage of Rosenthal, you learn a new marksmanship technique, the Hypercharge. So as you can see, we have this little machine thing on us, which that gathers the Aether. Next Machinist quest will be available upon reaching level 35. Requirements for undertaking subsequent quests can be reviewed in your journal. Yep, we do. We get the new gauge for our little pack there that lets us throw bombs. But I must be level 35 before doing so, and honestly, I'll probably be closer to level 40 by the time I'm actually done, so it depends. I'll see you when I see you, but we're finally getting started on Heavensward jobs. Alright, I have returned, and I am now level 40, so we can probably take on at least 2 quests. Always the last place you look. Greetings, Bren. Have you become practiced at defeating your foes from a distance? With the range of your weapons, even skyborn dragons will learn to respect the threat posed by a trained machinist. Despite the proven efficiency of our cannons and ballistas, however, many knights of Ishgard continue to eschew firearms in favor of the spear and the sword. Ah, the creaking chains of tradition. Hark, the very creaking I spoke of draws near. Ugh, the stifling heat and sulphur stench. I can scarcely breathe, and worse, I can scarcely bear the sight of mine own son garbed in such filthy garments. Why must you persist in this infatuation with smithing, of all things? "'Tis called machinery, father, and you need not come at all if the air of the workshop so offends you. How dare my son take up an actual profession instead of just leeching off the poor? Would that I could shed this onerous duty, but as manufactory chief I must needs supervise its operations." "Supervise? You barely visit but once a moon and relegate every management task to Fromelant." And what of it? Smithing is a commoner's profession. Even as overseer is the role of the noble. As one of the 4 founders of Ishgard, House Haliantar enjoys a privileged position. But misfortune has waged a constant war of attrition on our forces, and our claim to the position grows weak. Thus must we attend to our duties with uncommon zeal, even duties as common as this one. But should we not suffer this mean predicament forever? No, my son, you will reclaim the honor of our family with spear in hand. You must needs become a knight of skill non-peril, and bear our flag onto the field of battle. Father, the farce of war changes with each passing day. Soon you will come a time when machinists shall form the bulk of our armies. Should you cling to these stagnant ideas of yours, you will be swept over by the wave that carries us forward. Oh, I tire of your flights of fancy, Stefanibin. Without success to back them, your arguments ring as empty as my treasure room. The Holy See has announced a tourney. You will best serve your house by returning to the practice field, and thence claiming victory in the melee. I mean, he can try to duel, but he's just gonna blow a hole in his opponents if he tries, with his profession. I regret that you are subject to our squabbles, but Father's attitude is sadly representative of the greater part of Ishgard's populace. Their heads may as well be made of the stone of the city walls. I have, however, designed a weapon of such brilliance that the light of its potential will penetrate even the densest mind. Rostenthal and Joy will accompany me to Raincatcher Gully to gather materials for the prototype. Why don't you join us? Practicing your marksmanship in Ishgard will only invite suspicion and ridicule, and this is the perfect opportunity to receive further tutelage from Rostenthal. That you might also train under the warm rays of Lenosha's sun is simply a fortuitous boon. I get the feeling you like to just take vacations to Lenosha and disguise it as weapons training. Okay. Always the last place you look, let's head over to Raincatcher Gully. And, as per my Moogle tombstones, I have something a tad more befitting of the class, even though we probably won't see this until much later. I want to say it was Shadowbringers that this gets released in, according to the trailer. If it looks familiar to a certain other game, there's a reason for that. Got yourself dragged out here as well, did you? The boss said he needed some Magitech part, and I just had to open my big gob about this Garlean wrecking the gully. It's been rusting here for nigh 5 years now, though, so any useful bits and bobs were likely stripped long ago. But seeing as we've trekked all over this bloody way, we might as well see how far you've come with your shooting. Go say hello to the other two and keep them safe while they concentrate on their scrounging. Yeah, this big old Garlean ship from 1.0. All rusted in the lake, ruining the lake. There you are. Ah, you came. Splendid. Though I'm afraid the rewards have yet to meet the risks of this monster-infested crash site. And speaking of monsters... Bruh, you knew the whole time? Yeah, as you can see, we have a bit of a gauge now down in here, and once this has at least 50, you can temporarily raise your attack stat of single target attacks. It's not menacing, is it? Yes, it is. Practicing your marksmanship, are you? Maybe I'll have a moment's peace to look for that part while you watch my back. Oh, not again. Take care of that, would you, Bren? I'm probably gonna attack the Gulu too. Oh no, I'm far enough away? Good to know. I must have quite some talent to shoot bugs dead. Nice shooting. Now, if only we could find his lordship's part, I might get back to my own training. Had to dig a little bit to find that southern accent in there. Nicely done. Now I must return to the search. You've been working those shots, have you? I say you're good and ready to... Oh, bloody hells, it's a big one. You're up, Bren. Speaking of gooboos... Actually, I should probably do this first. Actually, I'm probably going to take this thing out without even needing to do anything special. Ah, nice form. Tightly ground shots. Now, was it just my eyes playing tricks, or did something other than guts drop out of that thing's belly? Looks like a bit of machinery. The boss had better have a better idea than me. Also, I'm recording these like first thing in the morning. Confounded, all this way and not to show for it. Aside from your obvious improvements in marksmanship, of course. What's that you have there? A gyroscope. Some sort. We're gonna steal Garlean tech and make Garlean weapons. For Ishgard. And this spilled out along with the creature's innards, you say? Extraordinary. By the Fury, do you know what this is? You found the very component I was searching for. Oh, that's wonderful, my lordship. Our fortunes took a turn for the better the moment you walked through the workshop doors, Bren. Finding a rare Magitech part in a beast's belly ain't fortune, that's bloody sorcery. Or that it ain't it. Or so I'd think if I didn't see you shoot the damn thing with my own two eyes. Nice work there, by the way. Oh, I can hear the whirring of my invention coming to life. Come, we must return to the manufactory at once. Alright. This should be it for 35. Some are shorter than others, like I said. That's why I tend to do them in double batches. Every 10 levels instead of every 5. Even if it's not always the best for my teammates in roulettes. I might change that once we get up into the 60s. But in lower level dungeons, you hardly need anything. That was truly a stroke of luck. With that wretchedly rare gyroscope in hand, it was only a matter of time until I had a working prototype. Instead of twiddling your thumbs until its completion, however, you shall have your hands full mastering a new skill. Rostenthal bade me pass it to you in the particulars of Heat Blast. Train hard, my friend. Alright, what's this? Delivers an attack with a potency of 200. Reduces the recast time of both Gauss Round and Ricochet by 15 seconds. Can only be executed when the firearm is overheated. This weapon skill does not share a recast timer with any other actions. Upon execution, the recast timer for this action will be applied to all other weapon skills and magic actions. Okay, maybe that also uses my gauge? Oops, not that. One day. One day I'll mess with that. Let's see. Oh, I seem to have something else new here, too. Rook Overture, Heat Blast. I'll put these in here for now. I rarely ever use these. I feel like there's rarely a situation where they are to be used. Yeah, like Foot Graze, binds target. I rarely encounter anything where that is an issue. Which one's this? Heavy. That's not the one I got rid of. I got rid of Head Graze, which interrupts the target's action. So that's similar to kicking it in the shins, I think. These did get automatically placed over here, but I will prefer to keep them on my current gauge. I have to mess with them to see what they do. And we get another one of these. I think this is like a little turret that follows you or something. Ah, Bren, splendid. You arrived at the very moment I completed my newest Machinist marvel. Well, within the very hour, at least. 'Tis unfortunate that many Ishgardians cannot appreciate the practicality of my work. People such as my father, for instance. It doesn't help either that all the dungeons I've run in the leveling roulette have been below level 30, so I haven't been able to test any of my skills. Is there naught that can be done for this dreadful odor? Stephenevin, my son, the days of shunning your nightly training have come to an end. Never should I have allowed you to set foot inside this workshop, had I but known that a curiosity you displayed as a boy would develop into this all-consuming distraction. Is that all you've come to say, Father? I'm well aware of your distaste for... Nay, Stephenevin, there's more. House Dismail has sounded a call to arms, and House Halianter is bound to answer. As you well know, however, our companies are light on lances. If we are to avoid dishonoring our name, every able soldier, mine own son included, must take up spear and sword and march into battle. I have not the disposition for charging into enemy ranks, Father. I did not raise a coward. Consider your next words carefully, boy. As manufactory chief, I hold the authority to expel anyone from this workshop. On parchment, mayhap. There's only one chief we answer to. I understand that our ranks have grown thin. This is our house in dire need of the support of my machinist will bring. Challenging the might of dragons with spear and sword is the work of seasoned heroes, warriors possessed of unflagging stamina and robust physique. Equipped with a firearm, however, even the scrawniest commoner can engage those same scaled demons from afar. Think of it, Father. If the masses were trained in the machinist profession, the casualties of fang and claw would be considerably diminished. Machinist companies would soon form the backbone of our defense, and, as the master of the manufactory, the accolades would belong to House Halianter. Train the masses? Foolish boy, no Loreborn army could ever replace a contingent of disciplined knights. Yeah, the invention of firearms definitely changed that. It is time, my lord. Zavara is expected to descend upon our defenses within the hour. Zavara? You mean to engage that great brute with naught but our knights? What would you have me do? The dragon flies straight as an arrow for our very own Skyfire locks. Should we let them be destroyed, the price will be steep of both coin and honor. Father, you must allow me to deploy my machinists. Once you have witnessed them in battle, even you will be unable to deny their effectiveness. Do as you will, Stephenevin. As matters stand, I would not turn away a lame chocobo if it offered to defend our holdings. Be certain to assemble your forces at the locks ere Savara arrives. And now we get to try out some of those new skills, it seems. Oh dear, I fear I've allowed my passions to impair my better judgment. Of all my budding machinists, it's only you who have seen true combat. 'Tis to you, then, I would entrust the use of my prototype device. The Rook, as I have taken to calling it, is an auto-turret, a type of machinist weapon that fights on its own. Do you recall Rosenthal's explanation of the Aether Transformer? That contraption at your waist will convert your body's aether into lightning aspected energy, required to power the turret. I kind of wonder about that. Did Heavensward still have elements at the time? Because I know A Realm Reborn started off with elements and they originally just threw them all away. Hence why so many crafting things are like, oh, this one, if you add it, it'll have lightning aspected with this stone and fire aspected with this stone. And now they're like, they're the same thing, just different colors. You need to simply activate the weapon and it'll supplement your own attacks. Zavara has plagued House Halianter for long years. Should you employ the Rook to good effect, then we may rid ourselves of both deadly enemy and my father's antiquated notions in one fell swoop. I trust you with his latest creation, the Rook Auto Turret. Get to change around my gauge again. Okay, heat gauge has changed. Now we have two of them. One's probably the turrets. Alright, let's remove that. Put it... head, foot, leg can be over here. And then our auto turret can be, where is it? Here. For now. I might also move these later. The battery gauge accumulates when certain actions are performed and allows the placement of a Rook auto turret, which will attack your target. It allows for the deployment of an automaton queen acquired at level 80 to fight alongside you. So, ignore that. Performing certain weapon skills will increase the heat gauge, and once it is high enough, the action Hypercharge will become available. Using Hypercharge overheats your weapon and allows the use of Heat Blast acquired at level 35 and Auto Crossbow at 52. Well, Bren, we're as ready as we can be. All except for our wayward instructor. Would you be so kind as to locate Rostenthal and inform him of the urgency of our situation? I imagine he's loitering at the Foundation somewhere, making his unhurried way to the workshop. Or maybe he doesn't want to come to the workshop, considering that a dragon horde is coming. Can't tell if he's going to be above or below. There you are. Ah, Bran, look at the scrag that caught me creeping about near the workshop. Up to no bloody good, I reckon, so I sat him down for a friendly chat. A dragon attack, and the boss needs each and every one on deck, does he? I'll be right there, just as soon as I'm done wringing some answers from this ugly sod. You know, where there's one rat, there's always a dozen more. Might be best if you took a quick look around yourself and deal with any troublemakers before you head back. No need to murder anyone, mind. The noise from a slug shot ought to scare them off. But they don't know what it is. Other than a loud boom. It only worked in Dr. Stone because they all knew what guns were. For the safety of Ishgard citizens, the Sky Steel manufactory must needs be shut down. About that. Oh, do I have to use a slug shot? Which one do I use a slug shot? How uncouth, but I suppose I should expect not less from one of Rostenthal's underlings. You learned it from the vicious brute himself. Heed my words, the Sky Steel manufactory plays heaven to villains. For the safety of Ishgard's citizen, the manufactory must needs be shut down. The Rogadin instructor poses as the former commodore of the Knights in the Barracuda. This is a lie. In truth, he is a bloodthirsty pirate who murders his entire crew. I'm guessing this is the work of Stefanovin's daddy, not wanting him to play along in the Sky Steel manufactory anymore. Come get yourself murdered with a lance instead. Okay, it's probably up in the broom. Let's just pretend I'm firing the bullets in the air when I do that. You ain't going nowhere. God damn it. You ain't seen the last of me. Methinks. My name's Celestu, one of your fellow machinists. If you didn't know, I was making preparations for our fight with Sfara when that thug ambushed me. Don't bother chasing him. I doubt he knows more than what he was paid to do. But he did make it damn clear that someone out there has a grudge against our workshop. Anyway, I ought to get back to my duties. We ain't never fought in a proper battle, let alone against a monster like Sfara. We need all of the advantages we can get. Yeah, are some of these skills even used anymore? Like the leg shot and whatnot are heavy. Because, like, rarely does it do anything in actual battles. Like, oh, I got heavy on an opponent that, like, doesn't move anyway. I can see stunning it maybe working, but unlike leg kick and some of those other abilities, it rarely ever works. Just one lick of flame ought to do it. Says, I want to protect my son, says man, sending him to battle and potentially blowing him up. What in the seven hells? You could have taken off a toe. You're Rosenthal's new pup, ain't you? If there's trouble you're looking for, then look no further than that backstabbing Lominson cur. You could have taken off a toe, says man, about to take a life. Is everything alright? Rosenthal tells me there are villains afoot, making trouble for the workshop. Intimidating my machinists, were they? Setting fires and spreading rumors? Joy, too, has overheard vile slander intended to defame our master of marksmanship. You took every care to choose the right employee, my lordship. We could do a lot worse than a former commodore of Limsolamince's Barracudas. And now half of Ishgard thinks he's lying, that he's a convict of terrible crimes. Does someone seek to harm the manufactory's standing with those attacks on our instructor's character? I'm sorry, Rosenthal. Your association with machinists has brought you naught but ridicule and insult. Ah, don't blame yourself, boss. After all, more than half of the stuff's probably true. I was the Commodore of the Kudas, right till I got kicked out on my arse for making a bloody mess of things. That's where you found me at Camp Overlook. I was there to visit one of my old underlings. Of course, he'd rather take another axe to the face before he'd talk to me. Me mistakes cost me more than others, and there's no bastard in Lenosha as I'd call me a friend. Your mysterious rival must have learned of my tarnished past, because they offered a fortune for me to accept the job as your master of marksmanship. I suppose they thought the workshop be ruined once the truth behind my charm and reputation became common knowledge. But as it turns out, I don't take kindly to being some faceless bastard's puppet. So I took their coin, and yours, and made for the hills, and had no intention of fulfilling my contract, not until your adventurer here went and got me fired up about teaching and truth. That said, there ain't naught in me agreement that says I ought to fight bleeding dragons, and my students will never give a better showing without me there growling over their shoulders any road. Though his support will be missed, Rostenthal may have corrected his assumption. Our demonstration will be all the more impressive for his absence. Let us check our weapons one last time and assemble at the Skyfire locks. He's like, well, you didn't background check me. This will be the machinist's first engagement, and we need every finger on the trigger. See to your task, Bren. At the Skyfire locks. Oh, this is down here. In, like, regular Curthus. Haven't been down here in a while. Though I suppose if they tried to hold it on the other side of Ishgard, it'd get smeared. $44 level sync. Well, hopefully we're good. Since this is a level 40 quest, I don't know why this would be 44, but whatever. Allow me to brief you on the defensive strategy ere the dragon and its minions arrive. Atop each of the 3 locks we have placed a dragon-slaying cannon. Our task as machinists shall be to defend the cannons from far as lesserkin. You'll find a lock at the northeast. The lock to the northwest. Why do these things still have the wheels on them? You're supposed to bolt them down, otherwise they jolt backwards. And a lock to the south. I'll track the concentrations of our enemy and direct you to the cannon we most need of protection. There's a reason you see these in history books, but they're rarely ever used on the battlefield and were immediately retired. Hark, the dragons are come. Everyone to your positions. It's one thing to get them out there, but to not have them bolted at all. The southwest cannon to the north. Going. One's down. Does this count as me being in battle? Okay, there's more going on here. Hard thing is I can't really tell if I'm like in the right location. Staunch the wounds of the fallen. Pray defend the cannons as needed. Okay, see how that's 100% now? We can use this and temporarily increase our attack for about a couple seconds. Don't last very long. There's a lot here. I'm gonna try it. Okay, there's the big one. Oh, maybe it only goes off after I use my overheat. Nope, the other one didn't. What causes you to recharge then? Oh, it's the other gauge. See, like, someone cast heavy on it, but, like, what does that even change if the enemy's not going to be moving around? We won. Father, my machinists have carried the day. Well, Father, do you see now how we might prevail against dragons without risking the lives of our soldiers? I mean, you're technically still risking lives, it's just risking them less. 'Twas a most impressive display. I must admit your commoners acquainted themselves admirably. I thought I'd heard the terrible din of cannons being fired. What do I hasten out here to find but the high-born Halientaires frolicking in the snow with their low-born lackeys? After providing you with this opportunity to improve the ailing reputation of your noble house, does the consideration of House Dismail not merit a formal reply? Lord Tettlegrinch, my apologies. The foe was upon us ere we could put quill to parchment. Ah, yes, I imagine you were full occupied with scraping together a serviceable company of soldiers. If only your dear son was as ardent with his knightly training as he is with his idle tinkering. Sorry, which one of us slew the dragons here today? There is not idle in my work. You would not speak such insults had you seen my machinists in action. Oh, such a temper! 'Twould seem your association with commoners has eroded your manners as well as your martial skills. If you're so confident in these machinists of yours, mayhap you should enter them in the upcoming tourney. Do you not see the dead dragon behind you? Mayhap I shall. Upon my oath we shall turn Ishgard's tradition-bound combat upon its ear. Ah, the Holy Sea's adjudicators will be most impressed when your lowborn rabble is chopped to pieces by the tested blades of noble champions. But I'm also a bladed noble champion, so this is going to end very embarrassingly for you. My son, what have you done? The tourney is a stage upon which is flaunted the might and mettle of our 4 great houses. Only the finest knights are chosen to participate. Even with the aid of your machinists, our battered ranks stand little chance of victory. Must we now parade our shame before the highest echelons of the Holy See? Do not be so swift to dismiss our chances, father. I give you my word. House Holianter will leave the contest with its pride intact. And furthermore, should we win, I will have your word that you shall yield the running of the manufactory to me. You started this, man. Very well, my stubborn boy. Whether you win or no, you be sure to give House Dismail a good darn pubbling. I shall see it done, father. We will not disappoint you. You ruin your own son's reputation, and then you wonder why I don't have one. And now you're exasperated that he's got to defend it. Sir, this is all your fault. Yeah, might not have seen me, but I was watching all the same. Them dragons didn't know what hit them. I never thought I'd see the day the Count himself would give us his blessing. Bren, by virtue of your undeniable expertise, my father has at last recognized the value of machinistry. We cannot stop at but one hard-headed knight. This tourney will be our opportunity to demonstrate to all and sundry the potential of our profession. My lordship, if I may, it seems that Lord Tailgrinch has a dislike for commoners such as me. If my presence will cause you more trouble, then maybe I should quit the manufactory. Ah, pay no mind to preen and fop, lass. It is all piss in the wind. Aye, ever as Tardigrage sought to needle me in such a manner. 'Tis not you, my dear, that he despises. 'Tis the mingling of highborn and lowborn. House Dismail is a powerful family, and their talent for the building of fortifications has brought them vast wealth and influence. Staunch allies of House Duriander, the Desmails have also been partly to a number of significant victories. Thus they do stand at the peak of Ishgardian society, looking down their noses at those who do not share their noble pedigree. If you wish to please me, then I would have you shine your brightest in the tourney and wipe the arrogant smirk from his face. Shall we be on our way? And back up to Ishgard we go. No use sticking it out in the snow. I feel like these two crystals are right next to each other. Think of all the places they could have stuck it. This isn't the best one. I must forgive my misgivings to you, Bren. When queried as to our chance at victory, my prospectometer returned an unfavorable result. We triumphed over dragons, 'tis true, but such a battle has not prepared us to face coordinated parties of seasoned knights. My machinists are simply not ready. I feel like your prospectometer is something like a magic 8-ball. 'Tis fortune, then, that the tourney is yet some days away. Let us keep such disheartened talk from our colleagues and continue to train them, and ourselves, for the contest ahead. And there we go! Next quest won't be till level 45, but I'll probably do it at level 50, seeing as doing 2 together is usually about 30 minutes. So, meet you back there once I am leveled. Alright, we have returned with plenty more quests to do. Alright, Stefanabin, level 45. What do we got? I'm excited to get these ones done because leveling up tank and healer is going to be so much faster. Been doing this one for weeks. Greetings, Bren. Your training proceeds apace, I trust. Stay a while and we can discuss our strategy for the journey. It would appear everyone is present, even our dear instructor, so let us delve into the particulars of the upcoming contest. Now the degree of favor the Holy Steed bestows is much influenced by the outcome of the tourney, and thus do the nobles enter only their most able champions. I assume that Tettle Gritch and his small-minded maliciousness seeks to humiliate us before the adjudicators, and thereby convince the Holy See to cease the flow of funds to our manufactory. I don't understand, my lordship. Moshish Guardians ain't hardly aware that Machinist exists. I don't know why I'm giving her a lisp. Why have we so grabbed Lord Tettle Grinch's attention? That's because he's likely noticed your firearm can kill a man with naught but your dainty little finger on the trigger. 'Tis the same reason there's laws in Limsa what prevents any old drunkard whoreson from carrying a musket. Yeah, guns sort of revolutionized the world. And Ishgard's hierarchy ain't exactly fair and measured now, is it? If you arm the lowest folk on the ladder with weapons like ours, then you can be sure as the tide that their barrels will soon be pointed towards them overprivileged bastards would stand at the top. But as you say, most of the nobles don't seem to understand the threat of what an army of machinists could pose. This Tettle Grinch bloke is a step ahead, I'll give him that much. I keep saying title like with an I, but it's Tettle. He's a despicable fellow, but also uncommonly clever. Even so, he has failed to arrive at the most obvious conclusion. A well-trained and well-armed populace would strengthen Ishgard's defenses tenfold. And if we're able to convince the Holy See of that, then we must first claim victory at the tourney. You got something special in mind, then? I've been considering several strategies, but to practice them here in plain view of our adversaries would void the effectiveness. We must needs look further afield for a suitable location to train. Bloodshore and eastern Lenosha ought to do the trick. I'll secure us a place where we can shoot our deers to our heart's content. Joy, pray make preparations for the journey, after you've attended to your duties at the manor, of course. As for you, Bren, I would have you test another of my inventions. Remain behind, and I shall make some adjustments to your Aether Transformer. Ooh, what goodies do I get this time? Because Machinist already is such a high-powered DPS class. Now, obviously, every class sort of evens out by itself over time. So, like, a Bard, for example, doesn't do as much damage, but through their buffs, they can achieve the rest of the party doing more damage overall, especially with their damage over time. But if it's just me clearing out things by myself, I can see why a lot of people like to use Machinist for the solo content. You can hurt stuff. Forgive my duplicity, Bren. That talk of adjustments was merely an excuse that we might speak alone. Ah, damn it. I wanted new Boom Boom toys. Now, you heard me boast to my father that machinist companies could soon form the backbone of our defense. That was something of an exaggeration. Not for my universe. When it comes to gigantic dragons, one may as well be firing at the side of a Barbican. In the tourney, however, the lesser size of our opponents will work against us. It requires intensive training to consistently track and score hits against targets that are both small and agile. And there's but little time left before the contest. Our victory will depend largely upon your skilled contribution. Yeah, guns back then had major recoil. If Joy is able to display even a fraction of your battle savvy, then the reputation of the machinist will flourish. Thus I need you to attend our practice with undivided focus and provide a shining example of what she might aspire. I'm pretty sure she's better than me, though. But that's also because, too, guns back then had such massive recoil because they were basically just portable handheld cannons. Once Joyce has completed her tasks at the manor, we can be off to Bloodshore. I wonder what could be keeping her. A trip to the market to restock the larder or some such? If Joyce's aim is so bad, then maybe stop having her hold a rifle as a pistol? Okay, where is the pillars? Because people do that in media to try and make it look cool. Oh, I'm trying to... Thank you. Let me teleport. But that actually makes it really, really hard to hold. Stuff that you hold with your full body is actually easier to control overall. Especially if you don't have a lot of physical strength, because it uses your core strength and not just like your wrist and hands with the pistol. But they hold a rifle like a pistol, and it's like that is just gonna go anywhere. It's a surprise you hit anything. Wait. Is that my wife in the background? Not you! Oh, hello, Bren. You must be eager to get in some practice before the big contest. I'll be ready to go just as soon as I've hauled my shop into the manor. I forgot to give her a southern accent. If I'm to continue my machinist training, I can't be shirking my other chores. I made a promise to the Count. But I won't keep you waiting much longer. I'll run to the manor with what I've got and come back for this big sack afterwards. Offer to help. Oh, that's very kind of you, but I'm the stronger than I look. Maybe you could just keep an eye on the other sack until I get back. Shouldn't take too long. Yeah, that must be the new Manderville quests, since I'm further along in the story. As I originally started these prior to finishing the first series of MSQ. Okay, deliver heavy sack to Joy, and she is where exactly? Oh, back up here. It's not too far. My son is you running errands as well now, does he? Bran, what are you doing here? Who's watching me other sack? I brought it with me. I normally wield an axe, my dear. I can handle sacks and guns. Lending a hand to young Joy here, are you? Very good. That was the last of her tasks for the day, so she's free to assist Savinin in his work. Pray return to your tourney preparations. Thank you, Bran. I appreciate you helping me, of course, but I appreciate you helping his lordship even more. The Count was against me becoming a machinist. He knew that my dad's too feeble to work, though, and he was kind enough to let me keep the place on the manor staff. My family'd be on the streets if it weren't for this job, and I can't thank him enough. Sometimes it don't feel right that I repay him by spending half my time at the manufactory. But maybe now that you're around for Stefanivin, his lordship won't need me to be a machinist no more. Winning the tourney will repay the Count's kindness. Maybe. I never thought of it that way. Well, we should be getting ourselves to Bloodshore. That's a long trek. Maybe if we take an airship, I still feel like that would be a long trek. Okay, where? Good old-fashioned, where am I? It's been a while since I've been here. Anything I can say to you? Nope. Right. Let's begin, shall we? Our objective shall be to explore the most effective methods of countering our knightly opponents. If a knight cannot reach you, he cannot hurt you. Thus, we should concentrate on those machinist skills that hinder your movement. I've prepared a crate of aromatic meats, said to be irresistible to giant crabs. For the purpose of this exercise, imagine the shell-covered creatures lured by its scent to be the enemy knights, and form tactics to prevent their advance. Should the box be broken open, that will signal your defeat. Let's see what strategies you can devise for us. Kill it till it dies! Okay, so I don't let none of them bastards reach the box. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have any way of tank stancing. Oh, these aren't super duper strong. I'm actually blowing straight through these. So the thing with Machinist is single target attacks do way more than your group stuff. That's true of some other classes, but in Machinist it's like really, really true. Especially since all of your extras so far are single target. At least at this point in the leveling. But since there seems to be level disparity here. Oop. Joyce got it. I don't even think I need to use my supers for these. My overheat. Getting a little close there. Maybe. There we go, get rid of it faster. At ease, Machinist, let's call it a day. Because once you do that... Rosenthal, wait! What is that thing? It's a Leviathan. Must have caused sin of the blood. Reload, take it down, mates. I'm sure now we get this. Thing from the deep. Alright, basically you can do this. Which is just big hit after big hit after big hit after big hit. Eventually with that I can launch a bigger attack if I do my button sequences, but it was already dead. The last fellow was rather unexpected, but you handled him nonetheless. Well done, your performance has prompted my prospectometer and inspired me with entirely new strategies. If I must say, my lordship, seeing how well Bren is coming along, maybe you don't need me in this tourney no more. Whatever could make you think of that, my dear? I need you now more than ever. The sight of you, a commoner with scant battle experience, sending seas and knights stumbling and sprawling, will open the eyes of the Holy See. Why, you shall be the bullet that pierces their tradition-bound hearts. Very well, my lordship. I'll do my best in the name of House Holly and Dare, but for both you and the Count... Ah, that's the spirit. Now I must return to the workshop. Alright, back to Sky Steel. Whee! Yeah, I'm over-leveled, so those were probably super duper easy. Or, like I said, Machinist is just really, really strong by itself. Wait, I could probably... It's like equal amount of time. I didn't... This glows? I didn't know the statue glowed. The amount of times I've run past here and I didn't know that. A fine showing out there, Bren. Joy's lack of enthusiasm troubles me somewhat, but I'm sure the moment her hand closes around her stock, she'll be as ferocious as ever. Part 2. I feel like eventually I'd be getting an outfit or something too. No, level 50. Maybe these don't get outfits the same way. Oh, I bet it gets the outfit at level 60. Because it's technically a Heavensward quest. Okay. The day of the tourney is finally upon us. This is it, Bren. This is Machinistry's moment of truth. Pray gather our colleagues together. Joy should be just outside, performing the last moment firearm inspections, and Rosenthal, well, Joy may have a better idea of his whereabouts than I. Oh, Bran, it's a disaster. Someone has broken into our storage crates and smashed all the firearms. I must tell his lordship. No, we must check the other crates first. Or maybe... Oh, what do we do? You can always use my weapon. Also, I have multiples. Ah, you're right, of course. Giving in to panic won't help us none. I'll see what's become of the rest of the weapons, then report my findings to his lordship. Rosenthal? Last I saw he was getting fresh air out behind the workshop. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this, would you? Don't look now, but I think we've got visitors again. Stubborn bastards. Alright, you guys. I forgot about you guys. Master firearms, you say? Seems whatever scrag it is as wants us gone and done with being subtle. We best run off the rest of those thugs before they decide to set fire to the place. Again. You know what to do. Warning slug shots only so we don't bring the wrath of the Temple Knights down upon us. We can't murder people in the streets. Also, what's a warning slug? Slugs go through frickin' doors. Meet me back in the workshop when you're done with your patrol. Hello? Hello? Who am I? There you are. Hiding. 'Tis not personal. Holly and tear, but coin is coin. Right, probably wants me to... please no, 'twasn't my idea. Don't know why it wants the second combo instead of first, but okay. The timing has to be perfect. Oh, where'd you come from? Well, you see, once upon a time, a land across the sea, an Alrub was born where they really shouldn't be. Just wait until no one's looking. Ah, this purse ain't worth getting shot at. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? Ren, are you quite alright? Our fine instructor here tells me you've both been busy chasing off hired miscreants again. I'm afraid the damage has already been done, my lordship. Even after scraping together our spares, we've less than half the weapons we need for the tourney. Then half will just have to do. It'll be difficult, I know, but I believe we still have a chance. What the bloody hells was that? Sounds like someone fired a damn cannon or something. Maybe they did. Whatever is it this time? What is that? Our firearms? Oh no, they're the little machine things that float next to us, I think. Our little helicopter buddy. Oh, my lordship, our turrets! Blast, we must have missed one of those shite-eating bastards. Can we stop storing stuff outside when we know people want to destroy it? Can we, like, keep it upstairs or something? That's it, then. We have to forfeit the contest. Nay, my dear, there is yet time to remedy this. These efforts to confound our chances serve but to stoke the fires of my determination. Pray accompany me back inside. Rossenthal, Joy, lead your fellow machinists to the tourney field, and don you mass of supreme confidence. While our mysterious enemy is distracted by your show of bravado, I think I shall work to replace the damaged firearms. But how can you craft so many weapons before the contest begins? The short is, I cannot. Not to my usual exacting specifications, of course. Only the four of us must be aware of the poor quality of our replacements. So you ever heard of misfires? You and Joy must needs find that much harder to compensate for your colleagues' lack of firepower. I'll do my best to keep the others in high spirits too, Lord Stefanovan. My apologies. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop or nothing, but when I heard the noise... Ah, Celesto. Well, there's not for it now. Welcome to the conspiracy. Something I feel like I've been saying all week. Formidable foes. Meager chance of success. This shall be a victory worthy of song. What the odds? We're not so heavily stacked against us. We cannot let a few setbacks stand in the way of our moment of glory. Alright. The true level 50. Oh no, we get an armor coffer. And Ricochet. Deals damage to all nearby enemies with a potency of 130 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies? Maybe it's a follow-up to the multi-hit. We've done all that can be done. Time we join our companions and survey the field on which the tourney is to take place. You're familiar with Camp Dragonhead, I trust. Its grounds should make for an interesting arena. I mean, technically anything can make for an arena, depending on how the, factors work outside of our favor. Good, you've come. The other houses have yet to field their forces, meaning we've time to inspect the arena and formulate a winning strategy. Are you certain of your preparations, my son? These tales I hear of hired thugs terrorizing machinists and destroying equipment do not fill me with confidence. Pray remember that the collected gaze of Ishgard shall be focused on this contest. A poor showing will cost us our funding from the Holy See and cast an uncertain shadow over the future of the manufactory. I've never been more ready, Father. Now, relinquish your doubts, find yourself a nice vantage point, and enjoy the spectacle. I'm off to find a perch myself, but there's one piece of advice before I go. Make the most of the terrain. Stay up high. There's a few choice spots where I'd lay an ambush, or expect my enemies to lay one for me. Just be sure you've given the place a good once-over, eh? Long-range weapons do better from the rooftops. You heard the instructor. Give the word and we shall endeavor to learn the lay of the land. Not only is it easier for you to hit targets, it's harder for them to hit you. Let's review our strategy, shall we? Unless you would rather simply begin the tourney, in which case you may speak with our machinist messenger. Of which I get no option, so I guess let me in. Inspect the Black Standard. Ours will be a compound from the House Halianter and House Fortam, while the opponents of the House Desmail something something. The Black Standard represents our encampment. Pray inspect the standard and surrounding area. Capture the flag, I see. If we allow the standard to be destroyed and are defeated, the tourney is lost. Also releases a wave of curative magic, so return here if you're in need of healing. Let us move on to the enemy encampment. Pray inspect the Crimson Standard and survey the surroundings. Can they come from up there? The fact that they look concerned had me for a second. Should we succeed in toppling the Crimson Standard, then victory is ours. The enemy standard will heal nearby enemies. Best to avoid lengthy engagements in its proximity. So, let's discuss our individual roles. Kill people in the middle. Joyce will lead a squad of Halianter combatants in the offensive push. She gets to be tank. The reigning machinist and I will draw for Tomp in the defense of our encampment. Okay, this wants me to stay over there. You, Brent, shall be our flying company and strike where needed. I get to go anywhere, basically. Salaus, you should be an ambusher. Let us survey the place of concealment. Place of concealment? Pray inspect the ambush site. And that is... where? Hark! 'Tis Tail Grinch and his knights. Ah, the manufactory workers in all their glory. I imagine there are many who are curious, even eager to witness you fight this day. Unfortunately for the spectators, however, House's mail will end this mockery of a contest all too swiftly. Bluster all you want. We shall let the tattered remains of your standard speak for us. Oh, such conviction from the King of Commoners. Come then. All the players are present. Let the tourney begin. To victory, my friends. Alright, so... I'm supposed to, I think, stay closer to this. Maybe. Oop. Oh, these just went right through. So at this point, I can start multi-targeting. I think they even hit. Okay, now I'm getting at least 3. Once this charges up, I can start really hurting people. Damn it, you! Let's get beep beep out. Once it gets low, you fire off the shot. Some of these I can literally fire off in between. My tourney isn't as damaged as I thought it was. Since this is a long-range class, feel free to shoot and run. Is Peloton working here? No. But we are pushing them back a fair bit. Why are you letting this guy run with us? He can't sit with us. Now he's going back the other way. Oh, we got archers. When did you get here? Shoot you in face. I feel like they spawned over here. Maybe they came up the stairs. There's multiple. Yeah, there are. That's wherever this guy goes. I haven't fully worked out how to use the bomb, but it seems to be however long you leave it out and combine weapon skills with, it does more boom boom damage. Okay, so I can Peloton. There's there's just more stuff over here. Whee! We just gotta take this out now. Do all your big hits. And down it goes. We have won the joust. Are you gonna be a sore loser about it? Congratulations, Machinist. You have proven yourself not entirely without merit. House Dismail will gladly welcome your inclusion into House Halienter's next company of reinforcements. Ah, your novel toys confound my knights and won you this game of flags. I would see, however, you fare against adventurers who seek to break your standard but spill your life's blood. May the Danes who come when we fight side by side. Yeah, a little bit of a sore loser. Mayhap then you shall understand why the knight is the master of the battlefield. Well done, my son. You have triumphed against all that would see you fail. Oh my gosh, is that a compliment? That's a first. But of course, father, there's no difficulty that machinistry cannot overcome. Attorney Victory, how many years has it been? At last, we begin to reclaim the influence we have lost. And there shall be more to come, as long as you are true to your word. That means no more bemoaning my knightly skills, no more disruptive visits to the workshop, and for the love of God, stop setting everything on fire! Do you have any idea how explosive some of this stuff is? Stefanovan, I hereby relinquish you full authority to the manufactory. May your machinists be the spears that pierce our foes and the shields that defend our walls. Do as you will, my son, for the glory of Ishgard and her people. The age of the machinist has begun, my friends. Follow me and together we shall ring the rusted helmets of the old guard. You look a little sad about it, though. Heart not in it? Get threatened some other way. Like, if you don't betray him, I will cause your family to lose your ability to work in this household. Something to that effect, maybe. It was a hard-won battle, Bren, but your keen grasp of tactics carried the day. And that is to say naught of your ever-growing skill with a firearm. With this victory, I've become the manufactory chief in both name and deed, and I intend to make the most of my newfound freedom. Indeed, my first act upon returning to the workshop was to improve upon the Aether Transformer. This latest model is yours, with my thanks. The tourney exposed certain inadequacies in the design for which I have endeavored to compensate. Use it well. Yeah, let me see. Radius 5 yards. And the fact that it has a radius and a range, excuse me. Instant. I don't know, maybe it's a follow-up, like I said, to the other AoE attack. Further modifies your Aether Transformer. The Ricochet. I'm a machinist, not a man. So technically, we've done the level 50 quests for this. Wishes to celebrate your tourney victory. With our tourney's victory, we have indelibly etched the machinist's presence in the minds of the Holy See. And now that my father has relinquished the running of the manufactory to me, it would seem our fortunes have at last taken a turn for the better. Father has also formally responded to Lord Tailgrinch, promising our support in House Dismail's next soiree. I'm not yet privy to the details of the operation, but I imagine the roles Tailgrinch will choose for us shall be both demanding and dangerous. In an attempt to humiliate the machinist, however, he will only provide us with another stage on which to prove our worth. A victory in the field will garner us greater support for the Holy See, and allow me to a portion of funds towards the development of ever more potent weapons. Thus, 'tis vitally important that we see the operation succeed, but an equally important matter must be addressed ere we delve too deeply into such concerns. The celebration of our tourney triumph. We must have Joy and Rosenthal join us for the festivities. But I believe Joy's services are yet required at the manor. Pray seek her out. Our master marksmanship first, if you would. Party, is it? I ain't going. All I did during the tourney was watch. How could you say that, Master Rosenthal? Without your instruction, we'd never have stood a chance. And now look at us, upstart commoners, defeating the likes of seasoned knights. I thought you had a shoe die, but the tourney victory was something you managed all on your own. I can see arguing with you isn't getting me anywhere. I'll just drag you back to the workshop instead. But still, we can't begin the festivities without Joy. This time of day she'll be at her chores in the manor house. Maybe if you talk to the Count, he'll let her leave early to attend the celebration. She ain't one to abandon her duties half done, though. It'd be best to approach the Count directly, and not give her a chance to object. The lass is awful serious with her work. Wouldn't want her kneeling over from guilt now, would we? The Count should be home if you don't mind talking to him. I'm sure the instructor here makes it to the celebration. Okay, back up top. One of these is the answer. There's to be celebration, is there? And naturally you've come to fetch Joy. Pray return to the manufactory and I shall be along forthwith to explain why she shan't be attending. Okay, where in the heck? Oh, back to the manufactory. Really? Made me come all the way up here? Why does she need help with her chores? I can help with that. Don't turn her into a real-life Cinderella, come on! We can't begin the festivities without Joy. My machinists deserve to enjoy their hard-won victory. I've taught you how to shoot, but you're gonna do something on your own. Everyone is present, yes? Once again, pray allow me to congratulate you all on your tourney performance. Ere you celebrate your victory, however, I have news. What is it, Father? 'Twas quite a sudden development, but Joy has wed. Bloody hells. Well, there's another good reason to bring out the grog. And now he's like, I have a reason to join now. Wed. I've heard not of any engagement. She is gone, then? Aye, Joy's chambers at the manor have already been emptied. And now that she's married, I do not foresee her returning to the manufactory. She left behind her firearm. Wait, what's Joy getting married got to do with her leaving the workshop? Within the walls of Ishgard, 'tis usually the unwed which serve the manor houses. Many retire from such work upon the day of their marriage, as young Joy has done. Yeah, that was true in certain British households in the past, too. You could only work in some of them if you were single. Single and without children. 'Tis all too much. Now that we have at least earned a modicum of recognition, 'tis ill-timed indeed to lose a talented machinist. It would seem that familial circumstance demanded a swift union be made. But let's not bemoan what is lost. Let's instead raise a toast to the happiness Joy has found. You must needs accept your colleague has moved on and adapt your strategies accordingly. House Desmail will call upon you soon, and I expect to hear great things from this allied operation. Of course, we are not technically of the house. A yawning abyss has opened our ranks. How could she leave us with not so much as a final farewell? Familial circumstances. Has something ill befallen her dad, I wonder? Celestal, you're acquainted with Joy's father? Aye, we all hunted together. He was the one who suggested me try my hand here at the workshop. He told me his daughter found herself a decent job with a fine employer. Yeah, thinks the employer might have set her up. Then mayhap he can all you tell you whither his daughter is gone. I would fain convince both the wife and her new husband to accept positions at the manufactory. I'll speak with him, my lord. I don't much fancy talking to the field without Joyce and her uncanny aim at my side. Even should Joy refuse my overture, however, we cannot simply abandon our obligation to House Desmail. Rosenthal, you must drill your students without quarter. Oh, push them as hard as you like, boss. As long as unfairly compensated. The celebration shall have to wait, Bren. Until we can persuade Joy to return, the burdens of battle must be divided betwixt those of us who will remain. The thing is, it don't seem like a happy marriage, it seems like a coerced one. But surely she will come back to us. Surely. Next Machinist quest will be available from Finnevan upon reaching level 52. Oh, it doesn't go by 5s anymore? The requirements for undertaking subsequent quests can be reviewed in your journal. Okay, so it goes in 2s now. Let's check the Book of Spilling. Does it tell me? 10 of 30. Chronicles New Eridu Primal. Disciple of War quests. We have the Pugilist. Rogue, Archer. Maybe not till I actually get to them. Maybe it goes every 2 now to like fit more quests, otherwise they'd be really short. Finnevan would like to ask your assistance in his latest project. Get the auto crossbow. Okay. So that's good to know, but I'm also actually running out of time. So even though I'm technically high enough level to do these, I'm going to split the parts right here. In part also because I've been going for nearly an hour, just so that I can guarantee not having to rush through these, because I thought it was going to be every 5, and then I would take a break and come back at 55. But if they're going to be every 2 levels now, it may be with my best interest to get to like 56 and then still batch record. We'll see. Heavensward might be a little different. The learning process. See you soon. Alright, I've made it to level 60, so I should be ready to go to get the rest of this class done, although given the limited amount of time I've had this week, we'll see if I can cram it into a video, or if I'll have to separate it all out. It depends! We'll see! Sorry for the lack of content for the entirety of the week. It's just been very busy here. Pushing the broom. As a pun. We get auto crossbow. Delivers an attack with a potency of 140 to all enemies in a cone before you. Can only be executed when firearm is overheated. Does not share a recast timer with any other actions. Upon execution, the recast timer for this action will be applied to all other weapon skills and magic actions. Okay. Although, the one downside of this class is that so much about it is, like, damage, 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 rather than, like, buffs to timeout. It's very similar to Black Mage in that I'm kind of struggling to figure out what order I should be doing movesets in. Ah, there you are, Bryn. 'Twould seem as 'tis not only Joy, but her father as well, who has vanished from the city. Celestau is out asking questions, but there are a few answers to be had. Rather than just sit here on our hands while we wait for a revelation, however, I would prefer we begin preparations for our engagement alongside House Dismail. The Desmails have been struggling to restore the township of Falcon's Nest. An enterprise has been interrupted time and again by marauding Dravinians. The signs, and a steady trickle of scouting reports, suggest that the dragons are massing for a significant assault on the settlement. Its fortifications are not yet complete, and 'twill be the aim of the Allied operation to defend the half-finished structures from the ravages of the Horde. I expect House Hollientair should be positioned on the front lines for this conflict. Should we fight well, the dragons will be routed. Should we fight poorly, our reputation will suffer. From Lord Tettlegrinch's perspective, either result is a victory. For the future of machinistry, however, we cannot afford to fail. Thus have I focused my energies towards designing an attachment that will improve our chances of success. Now, the problem, which I was hoping you might help me solve, is acquisition of suitable components. The swiftest way to create new technology is by repurposing the old. To that end, I would have you infiltrate Castrum Sentry and salvage a goodly, I'm not used to that word, goodly number of War Machina parts. The Garleans there may take a dim view of your efforts to, liberate their supplies. Oh no, trust me, I'm quite used to liberating Garlean supplies. At first I thought he was going to say a good number, and then I thought he was going to say a godly number, but apparently he just decided to make a portmanteau out of it and fuse them both. Anyway, let's go steal stuff. There's still quite a bit of quests left on this if I'm at level 52 for the quest number. That means I have nearly an hour of stuff still to record, I'm guessing, so might not finish this in one recording. I'm hoping I didn't accidentally delete any of the other recordings either, since I've been clearing out hard drive space. And only later did I realize, oh wait, shoot, I was recording something else. It's not just live streams. Headspace, non-existent. It has been a long week. I guess I don't have to continuously stand in the circle. It's not a buff. Okay, anything else here I need? It's in the crate. I was just unhappy that I was in the crate. Even though I should theoretically be... There we go. Gotta remember how to play this. Strong enough leveled that they don't immediately lock onto my activities for the regular stuff. Off. Yeah, I found for Machinist in particular, it's still better to kill stuff individually. Unless they're a whole ton of enemies. My AoEs don't seem to be very good as Machinist right now. So unless there's a boatload of enemies, it seems that I do better damage individually. Say, the other one even gonna notice me? These guys don't really seem to be reacting too strongly to my presence. Outside of a video game context, that'd be totally fair. Maybe the ping's bad today. Entirely possible. So I can warp, I guess technically. It's about the same distance. It's not that far to run to it. Of all the places they could have put a warp. I mean, I don't know. With Joy gone from the workshop, I have no one else whom I can entrust with such duties. It is no simple task, I know, but I must have those components. Well, here you go, freshly delivered. Splendid. These parts will do much to speed the construction of my invention. Now if only Joy is returned to us. Despite Celestao's most earnest efforts, however, it would appear that his contacts in the Broom have elected to spurn his inquiries. I sense an unseen hand, and a sizable purse behind this sudden rash of reticence. Mayhap if you were to ask after the old hunter's disappearance instead, then the Broom's inhabitants would be more forthcoming. Yeah, alas, the marriage does not feel very natural. So we have concerns down here, I think. They seemed like stuff would be closer than this. Like, not warp-worthy. Hence why I walked. I guess it's gonna be down here. Oh, why, the creaky old hunter. I hear he got himself paying work and saw his little girl married on the same day. The husband said to be the brother of some famous carpenter, and that he didn't even need a job to get by. Okay, let's get gossip. Who? You mean the one whose daughter caught herself a husband in the Falcon's Nest? He's probably there with her, ain't he? I mean, there is a sizable question of why we aren't just checking there. Assuming in the Broom itself, maybe? Nope. Ah, that old hunter fellow? I thought he'd left to start a new job someplace else. He was always cursing how his old wounds kept him from practicing his trade, but I suppose he found himself something new. Let's head back to Sky Steel. I know she's probably doing it for the money, but at the same time, she totally has the ability to bust a cap in his ass if he turns out to be problematic. I've never had a fellow commoner refuse to talk to me before. Is this what it feels like to be an outsider? Yep. So, were you able to wring any information out of the Broom? A new job for him, and a new husband for his daughter in Falcon's Nest. They've been taking on a good number of laborers and such to help with the town's restoration. Even a half-crippled old hunter might find some kind of work for himself there. Yes, my prospectometer points unerringly to the west. We shall head to Falcon's Nest and seek out Joy and her father. That is here. Just outside the city. She must be here somewhere. I mean, standing in the middle of town won't necessarily guarantee that you find who you're looking for. You got an address? Any sign of her? Or in this case, maybe it shall. His lordship? What's he doing here? Joy, please, I ask only that you listen a moment. Will you and your husband not consider working for me in the manufactory? I can't do that, my lordship. I can't be a machinist no more. It's best for everyone if I leave that life behind. What do you mean, best for everyone? Is that what's best for you? You are part of this equation, you know.
All I want for me is a simple life. One what doesn't cause problems for those who have shown me such kindness.
Something in my eye.
I'm glad we could talk like this one last time, my lordship. I'll be praying that you and your machinist get the recognition you deserve.
The fact that you don't even explain it just makes me more suspicious. I always thought Joy was happiest when she had a stock of her flintlock in hand. Will she now sacrifice that happiness for the satisfaction of others? Or is it that she never truly wished to be a machinist and merely suffered the training at my insistence? By arming the commoners, 'twas my intention to place them on equal footing with the nobles who seek to rule them. But caught in the throes of self-righteous ambition, maybe I've treated them no better. Seems his lordship is having himself a crisis of faith. Might be as you could lend him a sympathetic ear, eh? I'll join you back at the workshop in a bit. There's something I want to look into first. Right, back to town. Yeah, I didn't realize some of these would be so long. Obviously, the new ones I'll have to split up because I'll have leveling to do. In between abilities. But the rest are probably going to be their own individual live streams. On days I actually have the time to do it. Like I said, I've just been really busy. My schedule has been quite unkind. I've run my prospectomer through all possible permutations, but the results are always the same. We focus on preparations for the Allied operation. So we just give up on bringing Joy back? Should we fail House Dismail, then the reputation we built at the Churney will crumble to dust. We would have to begin again, brick by painful brick. A moment, my lord. I lingered behind in Falcon's Nest to see if I could find Joy's father, but he was nowhere to be found. I've got a feeling something ain't right here. Is he being held hostage? If Joy herself has no wish to be a machinist, then what more can I do? It's not my place to meddle in her affairs. Oh, aye, I see how it is. I thought you different from the other nobles, but you're all the same, only interested in helping commoners, as long as they're doing your bidding. Well, I've had enough of taking orders. It's time I went my own way. My grand plans for the future of machinistry. Have they all been in vain? We've come so far, that's for you to judge. It's not about the machinistry, it's how you treat your comrades. We have, you and I. Speaking of which, I'd promised to use those components you brought me to build a new weapon. If not else, we have certainly made advances in the field of machinistry. Such a tangible measure of progress cannot be ignored. Yes, my prospectometer was so overloaded with peripheral problems, I failed to see the practical evidence of our success. The path is steep and our steps are small, but that does not mean the designation is beyond us. I will ask much of you in the coming days, and I shall see that you are the most well-equipped machinist in the short history of machinistry. I can't even get a break while I'm recording. And we now get the new skill for AoEs. I'm about to freaking lose it. Let me do something for myself. I've had, like, not even 2 weeks to myself. Heated Split Shot and Split Shot Mastery. Stefanivin would have you join the House Dismail operation, whatever that may be. I hope your firearm is loaded and ready, Bren. We've received our deployment orders from House Dismail. Several groups of Dravanians are converging on Falcon's Nest. We have been tasked with eliminating the fiends gathered upon the Black Iron Bridge. Knowing Tittlegrinch, and unfortunately I do, I would not put it past him to lure more foes into the narrow structure simply to overtax us. We must needs overcome this assault with Joy's help, or Celestao's for that matter. He's yet to return since he stormed out the door. Well, yeah, storming out typically bodes that they don't intend to come back. If you want them to come back, you typically gotta chase them. I will assume our remaining machinist to lead them to Falcon's Nest. Pray join us there as you may. Wait, what's that? Gotta warp. Hey, newsflash. If someone feels incredibly slighted by you, and you do nothing to show them otherwise or even chase after them, chances are they're not going to return to you. Just FYI. Bren, I fear Celestial's departure has inspired his fellows to disregard my commands. You are the only machinist to answer my call to arms. And in response to this insubordination, I have been forced to deploy what few knights we could spare, myself included. They even begged me to come along, as I've said afore. Fighting bloody dragons ain't in my contract, so they be paying me handsomely for the trouble. Is this House Hollianter's entire company? You seem to be short a number of machinists. We are keeping our colleagues in reserve. For an operation such as this, we need field only Bren, the finest machinist in our ranks. Oh, your confidence is truly inspiring. Thankfully, however, there are few enemies threatening the Black Iron Bridge. Even with your sparse numbers, I dare say you shan't be sorely pressed. Celestau, have you come to fight with us? It all depends on you, my lord. We found Joyce's father. He's being held prisoner in the broom. Held prisoner? You suspect this is some manner of coercion? And in the broom of all places? Well, I guess most traffic victims are found in hotels, but we reckon they've been targeting Joy for a while. Her dad vanished right after he landed a job here in Falcon's Nest, and then Joy suddenly up and wed the brother of the carpenter working on the fortifications. House Desmail is behind this, or I'm a Chocobo's third cousin. Tailgrind, you cad. It's not too late. If we break her dad out, then Joyce can abandon her farce of a marriage and come back to the manufactory where she belongs. But the bridge, the Dravanians. I can handle that. You go get her. Go. Joy's a machinist. As manufactory chief, 'tis your duty to attend to your employees. My knights and I shall march for House Hollianter. You needn't worry. They have yours truly fighting right beside him. Go help the boss, Bren. What? I can take out the dragons myself. I can take out primals. You handle the humans. Besides, I don't need to be thrown in jail for heresy again. If Bren goes, then I'll stay behind. We promised machinists to the Desmails, and we don't want to break our word now, do we? Just one should be enough. Thank you all. We shall conclude this matter with the greatest of haste, and return here as swiftly as we may. You'll find one of our manufacturing machinists in the broom. They'll show you where Joy's dad is being held. To the broom! Also, how rude to be like, oh, are you short a few machinists? I know he's doing it because he knows that he's the one who made us short a few. But at the same time, you don't see me going, oh, are you short a few lancers? They get gobbled up by a few dragons, have they? Like, that's incredibly rude to the people who lost their lives. It's, too low a blow. No matter how much you may dislike someone, to taunt with their men's lives like that, Especially when those men tend to be commoners. Celestau said you'd come. The chief will draw too much attention, so he asked him to wait at the workshop until they're ready to act. Joy's dad is right behind that door over there. We just need to convince the bloke standing guard to open it. He don't exactly look the stoic type, though, so a slug shot ought to have him piss in his trousers. I was gonna say, I have axe, sir, and gun. Step back or I'll bash your brains in. Sir. Oh, what in the... You shot me! You started it. You threatened me first. And you're holding a hostage. Please, I ain't done nothing wrong. Some fancy fop dropped a pouch in my lap and told me to guard the door. I swear that's all I know. Sure, fam. Sure, that'll definitely hold up in court. And how much did he pay you? Not enough to die over, my lord. Please don't shoot me again. It was not my intention to threaten you. We merely wished to release the man behind yonder door. And should you fear the vengeance of your employer, you're welcome to take shelter at the manufactory. In fact, why not become a machinist? Then you needn't take another unsavory job again. You're offering me work, my lord. I'll let the bloke out for that. Hells, I'll carry him across the city and back for a steady wage. Lord Stefanovid, my humble thanks. You've been locked away for quite some time, my poor man. Do you know who did this to you or why? I've not the faintest idea, my lord. I was hired by House Dismail to work on their walls, and when I went to join the crew heading for the Falcon's Nest, some bastard, begging your pardon, my lord, slipped a sack over my head and carted me away. I'm just a broken old hunter. I ain't got money for ransom, and nor does my family. Got to thinking that maybe they nabbed the wrong bloke. Then you weren't aware Joy was wed, or that she resigned from her position at both the manor and the manufactory. She got married and quit? Why'd she do such a foolish thing like that? I never seen her happier than when she was slinging one of them flintlocks. So that's why they took me. They're blackmailing my little Joy. Ain't no way she just up and marry some bloke what let her stay at the workshop. She was a machinist by her own choice. I'm full glad to hear that. 'Tis time we liberated your daughter from her false union. Once she sees you are safe, I do not envy the man who pretends at the role of her husband. I know you said things right, my lord. You take care of Joy, and I'll tell the rest of my machinists that they can come back to work. Right then, lad, you come with me. I will speak with Joy and unravel this nonsense. You, however, must make haste to the Black Iron Bridge, and lend your barrel to the battle. So I get to do both jobs, yay! Okay, back up the steps. Somewhere they be... Actually, where is the Black Iron Bridge? Black Iron Bridge is way out here. I got the new skill, but I have no idea where it would be best suited to be placed, so... Oops, not that. Every time I load it. Frozen Bridge. Assuming that's it over here. These look like harpoons, but I can't tell. If they are, they're probably frozen in place. Nope, nope. About time you got back. You found Joy's dad then? Yep. Good. Now it's up to the boss to bring her back. Fighting has been fierce. Master Rosenthal was injured when he gallantly intercepted a swipe meant to remove my head. That's a noble way of saying I tripped over its bloody tail and stumbled into the blow. Any road, you'll have to take my place on the front lines. And do it soon, before these dainty knights get their arses handed to them. Glad to see you. Let's start from the end and work together. My boys, please. Honey. If you're close enough to get swiped by the dragon, you've failed one of the core tenets of machinism, which is distance! Oh good, they follow me. Wonder if I can, piss off more than a few at a time here. Also, dare I say, this knight is failing his tank stance. Come on. What's got me all clogged up? There we go. Eyes up front. Take down the big bastard. They're working on it. There we go. Is that it? That wasn't too bad. He was missing a few mates, but you still took care of business. Not that I expect aught less from one of my star students. A star indeed. Your arrival was a gift from the heavens. Ooh dear. How do I not... Load, aim, fire. I'm assuming that's Joy? Yep.
How'd you like that, you great scaly bastard?
I kind of half expected my character to just take the gun and do the Bayonetta thing where they sling it over their shoulder and shoot without looking. But this works too. Just don't let the slugs burn your arm when the casings pop out.
I'm afraid I caused a great deal of trouble for y'all. Thanks for you rescuing my dad.
Ah, 'twas no trouble at all for such a fine employee. You're now wed. I understand that you may not wish to resume your duties at the manor. But have you considered my son's offer that you and your husband come to work at the manufactory?
Me husband and me have agreed to part ways. If it pleases my lord, I'd like to start working again at the workshop and the manor both.
Joy, my dear, you are most welcome, of course. Neither the manor nor the manufactory have been the same without you. We welcome and celebrate your divorce, my dear.
My lordship, I don't know how to...
Let us celebrate your actual wedding when and if you decide to have one.
That is to say...
Also, we're supposed to be celebrating the Sky Steel. We can have one of those, too.
I'm glad to be back.
And what do you want? I see that even the much diminished House Halienter, a handful of dragons, poses no true threat. I shall have to find a more significant challenge for your next outing. It would seem that you still do not understand that the Knight is a master of the battlefield. It's not a competition! It was far more than a handful of dragons, Tettle Grinch. Was it? Do you think us blind? We know who's working against the manufactory. We know whose underhanded villainy forced Joy into wedlock. Also, some of your own knights, nearly bit it there? Whatever are you implying? You speak as if you recall the names of your low-born servants, or hold even the slightest interest in their common unions. Now if you'll excuse me, my lords. And that's a good way to get everyone turning against you. Damn that man and his arrogance. My prospectomer and I shall remain vigilant. That was my defeat at Tailgrinch's trickery at every turn. The accolades for this triumph, however, must go to you. The bridge is clear, and joy is returned to us.
I was afraid I'd seen the last of the manufactory. Thank you again for the warm welcome home. I never felt as whole as I did after I joined the ranks of the Machinists. When I had to tell his lordship I was quitting, it felt like I was leaving a part of my soul behind.
It's called found family, dear.
That's when I realized to me, being a machinist is more than firing a weapon. It's a way of connecting to another side of myself.
Well, now that you're connected again, we can get back to working on your shooting. And your swearing. And there's also the small matter of our delayed tourney celebration.
If it pleases my lordship, I'd like to do some training instead. I feel the need to shoot off 10 score bullets or so.
Of course, we all celebrate in our own way. Fire at will, my dear. I, for one, am eager for a stiff drink back at the manufactory. And I want to get back to recording my damn Let's Plays. Oops. Wrong one. Wrong bar. Yeah, I feel like Machinist hotbar is going to get swapped around quite a bit later on. Since so many of these I just don't use? Once more, you've proven your worth to the Machinists and to House Holliandair. As for Lord Tailgrinch, I had my suspicions, but it now seems abundantly clear that he's behind every mishap and misfortune to befall the manufactory. Despite his knavery, however, our success in the field will not have escaped the notice of the Holy See. And as our reputation grows, so too shall Tailgrinch's ire. We had best be on our guard. Oh, did you hear? During his skirmish with the dragons, Rostenthal developed a new technique. He was adamant that I pass on the particulars to you. Yeah, because, like, heated split shot delivers an attack with a potency of 180, increases heat gauge by 5. Okay, that sounds more important, but this is split shot mastery. Upgrade split shot to heated split shot. Okay, so it's going to upgrade an existing move, I think. Similar to what happened with Warrior. Which, I started recording these prior to Warrior, and now I've finished Warrior and have yet to finish these, so... Oh, it changed my basic attack. Okay. Completely new. Wheels of Justice. Do I have to pre-order those? Or anyway, greetings, Bren. It is not a wonderful day to be a machinist. Lord Stefanivende and Holliandair, you and Skysteel manufactory employees under your authority are hereby charged with fomenting insurrection. Insurrection? My dear sir, I've fermented nothing of the sort. Oh great, Heresy 2.0 all over again. You stand accused of arming commoners with weapons of war, and discharging said weapons within the locality of the broom. Okay, technically, I might have performed a smidge of heresy. That little scene when we liberated Joy's father. Henceforth, the manufactory shall remain under the Temple Knight surveillance. Should you fail to refute the accusations against you within the allotted time, punishment may include seizure of your workshop and imprisonment for all those deemed accomplices to the crime. Ah, the Fury take that smirking Fox. Tailgrinch knew we would attempt a rescue. Once they set their sights on something, the Temple Knights is like a bandersnatch with a bone. You best say farewell to your workshop. They'll not take my manufactory. I'll think of something. You think we could move it somewhere else? Operate within the realm of some other nation? I'm pretty sure Limsa would like it. That Tailgrinch bastard's always 2 steps ahead.
How could they have twisted my dad's rescue into an act of insurrection?
'Tis difficult to prove the truth of something one has not done. Yeah, that's why burden of proof lies on the accuser, or should. Mayhap the wiser course would be to provide evidence of Taylor Grinch's wrongdoing. He's a clever bastard, though, that one. You might try, but I'd best not overstep my bounds. My contract's almost done in any case, and I'll be moving on no matter what happens to the workshop. Thanks, Rostenthal. Real vote of confidence there. Our instructor, he sure don't like to get involved. As for me, I'll see if I can find any strings connecting House Dismail to their crimes. The Forgotten Knight should be a good place to start.
I don't know what I'd do without the workshop. I'll see if I can get some folks talking.
Those two ran off at the same time, even though I know they're not connected. And that leaves you and me. I believe I shall remain here in the manufactory to occupy the gaze of the Temple Knights, while you aid Celestal with his inquiries. And his inquiries are at the broom. Though above or below, I do not know. Seems like it's potentially just a big area in general. Up it says... Okay, here. I appreciate you coming out, Bryn. It's a bit hard planning. Odd in the workshop with the Temple Knights eyeballing our every move. We should be able to talk freely here, though. Do you recall that bloke as was standing guard over Joy's dad? Aye. Fredo was his name. He took to marksmanship with a passion and hasn't missed a single day of training. Not until today. I got suspicious, of course, and decided to pay a visit to his home. Right away you could see the door had been kicked in. So I went inside and had myself a proper look. That's when I found a ragged feather just laying there on the floor amidst bits of broken furniture. If I wanted to keep my hands clean, then maybe I'd hire some thugs from town to do for poor Fredo. Thugs might otherwise make a living poaching wild chocobos. I suggest you talk to Lord Stefanovan and take a trip to Tailfeather. I'll keep poking around here in the city and see what else crawls out of the stonework. Okay, so we are going to Tailfeather. It's a good thing that I finished my first round of MSQ then. Because if I was doing this prior to MSQ, I would have had to put these on hold until I was able to get to Tailfeather. I know, I forget there's one right here. That is going to be the case until this playthrough is finished, I trust. This may be our last lead. If we can track down the man who first employed Fredo, then we shall have a solid link to House Dismail. Let us waste no time. Onwards to the Dravinian Forelands and to Tailfeather. Actually, I should probably just warp. Hello. Let's go to... Oh, you're coming with, huh? Good news. I've spoken with a few of the hunter fellows, and they told me of a trio of ruffians that passed through here, dragging a man matching Fredo's description. We shall scour the forest to the south, if you will look to the north. Do not wait for us. Should you find these ruffians, then pray confront them ere Fredo comes to further harm. Right up this way. Found him. How did you find me? I'm an expert at hiding, I guess, so I guess that makes me an expert at finding. No witnesses. Cut this one's throat as well. As well, you say? Oh, they changed the animation for it. Is it now a multi-hit? Delivers an attack with a potency of 180. The way it goes off, it makes it seem like it's somewhat of a scatter shot. Wait, fracture? Did someone break my bones? My thanks. I did not expect to see another dawn. Fredo, no leaking blood, are you? Splendid, you gave us quite a scare. Forgive me, my lord, those men, they dragged me from my home. Said they'd hurt me if I didn't swear false witness to the Temple Knights. You were forced to substantiate their accusations? Then you merely need withdraw your testimony to strengthen our position. It would be a boon if we were also able to prove some manner of physical evidence. A seal of House Dismail, which would explain how the ruffians who snatched Fredo were able to enter the city without challenge. Aye, this shall do nicely. I'm truly sorry, my lord. All it took was one beating for me to repay your kindness with betrayal. I'll not darken your doorstep again. What nonsense! You hardly had a choice in the matter. I just noticed he's wearing eyeshadow. Continue your training at the manufactory, however, and you'll become more than a match for thugs such as these. Even without a noble's wealth for prestige, a common man can earn himself independence. I think as I was constantly in Kurthus and the lighting made it impossible for me to see.
You'll see that a machinist's firearm is more than just for shooting dragons. It can help you set you free. His lordship's vision will change Ishgard for the better. Come with us, Fredo. Become the spear and the shield that our city needs.
I'd like that. I'd like to feel that I'm worth something. We all make mistakes, my dear fellow. The trick is to learn from them, and rise stronger from every defeat. Come, let us return to the manufactory. Because, like, even my character has dark eyeshadow, and I have trouble seeing it on them sometimes. The tables have turned, my friend. I have submitted the evidence you found at the Temple Knights. With the aid of Fredo's new testimony, we had enough proof to lodge a counter-accusation against Tadelgrinch. The wheels of justice have begun to turn, and we shall soon be free of these baseless suspicions. In the meantime, Rosenthal requested I instruct you to remember your blading practice drills. Charming fellow. Alright, we get Tactician. Reduces damage taken by self and nearby party members by 10%. Oh, I didn't know I get a shield. Duration is 15 seconds. Effect cannot be stacked with Bard's Troubadour or Dancer's Shield Samba. So we're gonna have to coordinate these. Which is something I get enough already when there's more than one Bard in a party. It's constantly a mess of, oh great, somebody's song is gonna overwrite somebody else's song, but if I don't play the same song, then I'm not getting the benefits of it for my own stacks. But at the same time, in the lower level content like this, neither of us have enough to constantly overstack one another, which means there's going to be an empty gap of songs. Oh, it's messy. Okay. What level are we currently at? We're at 58, but unfortunately, I don't know if I have enough time to record these in this session. So, I don't know. I might have to break my own rules and do a little bit of night recording. Or try and record tomorrow. It depends. I really wanted to get these done tonight and edit, but I don't know if I'll have the time. So, better safe than sorry. I'm going to cut the recording here. And continue on laters. Okay, let's see if we can't maybe finish up the Machinist quests. Taking the fall. There should only be 2 left. Then I get to edit all these together. Bren, I trust your training fares well. I've heard naught of the fate of the manufactory and would welcome fair news from any quarter.
Bad news, my lordship. We talked to a clerk who works at the congregation, and he says the accusation against the workshop ain't been lifted yet.
What's worse, it seems they ain't inclined to pursue your case against Tailgrinch neither. I do not understand. When I presented my evidence to the Temple Knights, the officer in charge seemed convinced of our innocence. Ah, my dear naive Stefanovin, truth is dictated by the victor, the one most skilled in strategy, the one most adept at maneuvering, one such as me. I'm guessing he spoke to him and said, hey, lift the order. How dare you show your face in my manufactory? Have you no shame at all? Shame? Why, you were the one who submitted a forgery of my house's seal in an attempt to deflect your obvious guilt. Upon renewal of the evidence, however, the Temple Knights shall soon rule in my favor. So you pretended it to be fake. But our sources were unimpeachable. Our innocence is all but proven. The twice-altered testimony of a commoner is hardly unimpeachable, and you cannot deny claims that the ailing House Holliantere has been arming the lowborn and inciting them to seize their independence. We've all heard the shots fired within the city walls. You would twist and corrupt everything we've worked for? As I said, such is the privilege of the victor. If you wish, I might even be willing to teach you how to bend this situation to your advantage. We shall do well enough on our own. Now exit my manufactory ere you find your shiny armor doused with machine oil. You would spurn my generous advice? Will you truly surrender your last chance to demonstrate House Holliantere's unwavering devotion to Ishgard's prosperity? There is a beast that has been harassing our supply trains of late, a menace that the Holy See greatly desires to see put down. Even cloistered here amongst your scrap-covered benches, you must have heard the tales of the fearsome Very Selene. Very Selene? The very same dragon that the Order of the Night Dragoons has failed time and again to slay? He means to make a bloody show of you, boss. The Holy See has agreed to abolish your trial in exchange for the dragon's death. Pray send word when you are prepared to face Very Selene. I shall organize a priest to be present and provide you with suitable bait. I don't like the way you said that. Also, I have a vague sense that he might get eaten by a dragon. My lordship, what do we do? I'll just confess it was me that was firing me weapon. You shouldn't have any trouble laying the blame on a drunken outsider, especially one what's known for his vicious crimes. They ought to get you off the insurrection charges, at least. But then you get put in jail. And they execute people here. No, you cannot do such a thing. If I've lived half my life in a ship cabin and a prison cell ain't much smaller, you can pay me for the time in the brig after they let me out.
I'll stop him, my lordship.
By the fury, that man's full of surprises. My prospectometer had naught to say of this eventuality. Seriously, what is that thing? It's just a magic 8-ball? I cannot allow our instructor to sacrifice himself for the manufactory. We have no choice but to accept Tailgrinch's impossible challenge. But I fear Rosenthal will not be convinced unless we can prove we have a chance to defeating Very Selene. I do have a machinistry marvel in mind that might just do the trick. Its implementation, however, will require a number of clear lightning crystals. Of the like is found at the Sea of Clouds. 'Tis said that the Vanu store such crystals for use in their tribal ceremonies. Praise steel into Akvanduvuna and lighten their baskets a touch. Surely we'll miss a handful of two. You know, I have people I can talk to there. Maybe just a better idea to, I don't know, ask the tribe chief, like, hey, I got a thing going on. Trade shiny stone for something else you want in exchange? Food? Like food? Bird toy capable of withstanding Vanu destructive beak? Just saying, there's gotta be something they want. Okay, another question is, Will I be able to steal what I'm looking for without getting caught? Maybe it's more around this way. Further away than I thought it would be. Ooh, quite a few of y'all. Kinda forget I have AoE bullets. Like I said, as is, this class is weirdly better at single targeting than it is multi-targeting at the moment. Alright, there's one. Just to avoid being seen. Ah, it's on the tip. Targeting the basket and let me shoot the other dude. We're getting quite heavy snowfall right now too, so it might be impacting our internet. Which in turn makes my ping a little weird. Alright, back to the manufactory. Hopefully I have enough time to get all of this done. I just don't know how long the quest will be. For the machinistry marvel I have in mind, I shall need the clear lightning crystals found in the Sea of Clouds. Not a single trace of any of the other 5 elements can be detected. The Vanavana keep crystals such as these under lock and key, bringing forth only for use in tribal ceremonies, like summoning Bismarck. Ah yes, these are wonderful specimens. These crystals shall allow me to broaden the capacities of your Aether Transformer via more effective processes of energy conversion. I only hope it will be impressive enough to convince our instructor to abandon his foolish course. We get Drill. Delivers an attack with a potency of 600. This weapon skill does not share a recast timer with any other actions, so it might just be a free damage button. OGCDs. Free slaps. Get your free slaps. Of course, that also means now, though, that I don't know where the heck I want to even put it. Realistically, I'd probably put it somewhere in here. Yeah, that really does have its own thing. That's shield. It's a drill. Ah. I might put these here. Just because these other ones, like, never get used. Oops. Actually, I should probably do this. And then these other ones can, like, go in the other one. I don't know why. They're so gosh darn many slots for this class. It's like Summoner all over again. Do we really need to have 5 different buttons for the same thing? Well, this one's to charge the other button. How about you just have the button transform? One of our machinists just returned to report the situation with Rosenthal. It would seem that Joyce and a few colleagues have caught up to them at the pillars. Pray make your way to the scene and persuade the instructor to stand down. Okay, at the pillars. That is up top. To this one. Okay, not you. You are potentially the next job class, depending on how I want to do these. Probably will. I'll probably do healer last. Should have known you'd be along. To back off before I teach this student the meaning of point blank. I'm talking to you as well, Joy. Step aside. Oh, why are you... That's right, because she's stopping him from turning himself in.
I bloody well will not step aside. Ren, take the fight out of him with a slug shot, if you please.
So that's how it's gonna be, Come on then. We'll see who shoots first.
You gotta stop him.
I was just taking a look at the dudes on the ground. Oh, but now that one ran off, and I just fired a shot in front of the church. Now I feel like I'm potentially getting arrested. Bloody hells, that was fast. Your students ever strive to impress you, Rosenthal? And it's thanks to Brain's diligence that I can't even say my own name, that I was able to once more improve the tools of our trade. And Very Selen cannot stand against the advances we have made in both technique and technology. You must have faith that our machinist will prevail. And though I appreciate your eagerness to occupy a cell on my behalf, such a sacrifice will not halt Tailgrinch's crusade against the manufactory. Ah, you might be right about that.
He's right about more than just that. You gotta stop underestimating what we're capable of.
I keep forgetting what a stubborn lot I'm dealing with. You're the ones what are changing the very stones what Ishgard was built on. In more ways than one, sir. Alright, I won't give myself up, on one condition. All talk of contracts aside, you'll let me help in the fight against the very Selen nightmare. You always sought to avoid such entanglements before. What has changed? It's a matter of penance. Back when I was still in charge of the Kudas, I lied to my subordinates. Instead of serving the Thalocracy, I had them lads working to further my own agenda. It all came apart, though, when I sent a glut of them off to die in a battle they had no business being in. I had my eyes on the Admiral's chair, see? But what kind of Admiral would do that? It was reckless and selfish, and I got a good lot of people killed. After they stripped me of my rank, I drowned myself in drink, and took up the life of the worst kind of pirate. That soldier I tried to visit in Camp Overlook, he was one of my lads what survived. I've been sending him every coin I can spare to pay back my bloody debt, but there ain't enough guilt in the world what could buy off my guilt. And now, years later, I see a chance to undo the wrong I've done. A bunch of my students plan to charge into a situation they got no business being in, and I plan to see him come out of it alive. Well then, consider yourself invited to the battle.
Come, lead us in a pre-battle drill, Rostenthal.
Once more, your skill at firearms has rescued the manufactory from peril. Let us head back, shall we?
Well, maybe if we only shot at the problems that need shooting at.
Ah, Bran, there you are. I've sent word of our decision to Tailgrinch. Even with the instructor's added firepower, however, I feel this challenge will test us to our very limits. It's supposed to be the last one, so... Rostenthal has vowed to stay with us, regardless of the term of his contract, until the sins of his past have been washed away in Very Selen's blood. Let us then take advantage of every moment we have from now until the battle to hone our skills to a razor's edge. Which I dare say is now. Rise of the Machinists. Hopefully the last one. Looks like more... heated things, though? New moves? Okay, changes Slugshot to Heated Slugshot. This is just an upgrade. That's fine. A day has been chosen for our trial against Very Selen. More than any that has come before, this battle shall be pivotal in deciding the future of the manufactory and machinistry both. Thus, ere we march forward to meet our fate, I would hold a celebration in honor of all we have accomplished. As has become customary, however, the principal players are nowhere to be found. Pray head out to the city and seek out Joy, Rostenthal, and Celestau, and my father. Where have they run off to this time? Here-ish. I'm invited to the manufactory? Well, how times have changed. Though I appreciate the gesture, I do not have a place at that table. I vowed to leave Sky Steel Manufactories to Definitive once more, and so I shall. Tell my son that I shall pray for victory and a prosperous future that will grow from his success. You can cheer from the sidelines, you know. It's not like we completely locked you out. He's like a parent pissed that his kid moved out, despite them being an adult.
I'll head there right now, but before we do, I want to thank you again for helping me find my way. I just got myself back to where I belong, and ain't about to give up the workshop a second time.
Don't give up the workshop or your sense of self. Let's save marriage for when you're actually in love, sweetie. Okay, he should be here-ish. There he is. A feast, is it? I can already feel my belly rumbling. As always, the chief works to make the manufactory a place where commoners like me feel welcome. He's done his best for us, and I mean to do my best for him, even if it means fighting that monster of a dragon. Everybody feast, for it may be our last.
Can I please go down the stairs?
Go down to go up. What? Another bleeding celebration? Well, I guess we never did get to have the first one. I knew the first time I met you you'd be a demon with a carbine, and bugger me if I weren't right. Now look at us, ready to stand side by side against one of the biggest bloody dragons to ever raid a supply train. I got everyone through this, though. Don't you worry. To send me off for the big fight, man. I'm like itching to be done. DPS classes take so long to level. Free me. Been a good while since I shared a drink with mates. Reminds me of old times and mistakes I don't dare repeat. I ain't eaten like this since, well, ever to be honest. This is to be my last meal, then I'll die a happy man.
You should have a nibble, it's so delicious. I might gobble a lot myself. His lordship says this feast is courtesy of the count.
Thank you for summoning everyone to the feast, and thank you for Father's message. Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends. Soon we shall introduce Very Sullen to the rage of the Machinists, for the manufactory and for Ishgard. For Ishgard. See how their eyes shine with determination? You were the perfect choice to act as my ambassador. Ever has your presence been a boon to the manufactory? I often wonder what would have become of us had you not chosen to walk the path of the Machinist. Though our next battle together will indeed be perilous, it shall also serve to demonstrate the pinnacle of our achievements. When Very Sullen lies defeated in the snow, we will have accomplished a deed that Tail Grinch and the Holy See believe nigh impossible. When you're ready to make history, join us at the site of the trial in the Kurthus Western Highlands. Okay, anything else? Nope. Sfinifin at the Twin Pools. That is a long way away. Would it be easier to come through Dravania? You know, technically maybe. Also, I don't know how much longer my brain can stand being in the manufactory. That constant machine noise gets to me after a while. There's only so much kerthunk I can deal with. Over and over and over again. It's kind of loud in there in general. Like, I know it's supposed to be, but the fact that it makes it so hard to even hear the music kind of gets to me after a while. Alright, we're just jumping in, huh? Lord Telgrinch, my machinists are assembled. We now but await the arrival of the dreaded fairy Selene. Excellent! I am accompanied by a priest from the Holy See, who shall ensure that the trial proceeds in accordance with Ishgardian law. A wagon has also been improved to tempt the talons of your quarry. The observatorium has been tracking the creature's movements. According to the calculations, Fairy Selene and its entourage should fly over the pass within the hour. Should the machinists of the Sky Steel Manufactory satisfy the conditions of the trial by combat, either through victory or valorous death, then shall your innocence be proven and your honor redeemed. Should you choose to flee, however, I must needs elaborate further. Y'all go into jail, or worse. We shall oversee proceedings from on high, that I might judge the actions evenly and without uninterrupted view. May justice be served. Aren't you gonna make yourself a target for the dragon if you do that, though? Your reverence, pray, do not avert your eyes, and should the scene become one of bloody carnage, we would not wish to deny these fine combatants a fair trial. He says, as if he intends to screw us over either way. My strategy for the battle is thus. Hit these beasts with everything we have, deploy every turret, and shoot every bullet. We shall bury Selene under a hail of metal and fire. It's not so much a strategy, that's just hit it till it dies. For the manufactory, and for Ishgard. Did I have a second one? Maybe that's only after it charges. Hard to say. Okay, see, this is a large amount of enemies. For which my multi-hit is actually potentially useful. Bloody hells, it's massive. And that's the thing we gotta kill? As Manufactory Chief, I have but one order for you all. Survive the battle. I mean, I didn't really have any other plans. What did I just say about being up high? Oh, there's his trusty sword. I couldn't tell if he dropped it or if he had it sitting that way because he was just goofing off. Machinist, protect the fallen. Why do this? Why protect me? Should you but allow the dragons to do their bloody work, you'd be free to pursue your agenda. So you admit that you're trash. Aye, and a few could argue that you've earned it. After the grief you've caused, I should take what is left of your corpse and string it up to target practice. But my machinists are truly able to be the spear and shield of Ishgard. We must defend the citizens with equal zeal. I fear that excessive association with commoners has softened your brain. The oath you have sworn, however, is indeed a knightly one. If you're done yapping, Lord Telgrinch, we're a bloody bit busy here. Wag that tongue again and it'll be the first thing I put a bullet through. You'd best heed her warning, old fellow. Joy is not one to give voice to idle threats. Yeah, we could let you die. But it's so much more embarrassing if you live. Until this day, I've but observed your battles from afar. What a perfect opportunity for me to evaluate your skills from a more intimate perspective. Sir, Choice of words. By the Fury, is he still speaking? Leave him, Joy. We have more pressing matters to attend to. Let us shoot a path through their foes arrayed before us. Well, his whole thing sort of did feel a little bit like that high school bully that secretly has a crush, but let's just get this over with. Not quite the scene I envisioned. Where are my... Still they come. Quickly, Potato Grinch. Ah, I gotta protect him. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Let's throw this out just in case. You guys dragged Very Selene over here? Oh, I dragged Very Selene over here. Oh, it's my fault. Fantastic. Where's the other move that I wanted to try? Maybe I can't use it yet. Oh, no, no. Target the right thing! Oh my gosh! Target! He's like in the wall and it won't let me target him without clicking. You're wasting my good shots. Explosion should kill it, yeah. It wouldn't let me target the dragon, it kept targeting my comrades. Like, this is not a healer class. Go for the enemy that's clearly right in front of me. We've done it. The damnable beast is dead. I thank you for saving my life. The accusations against you shall, of course, be withdrawn. As a further token of my gratitude, I would offer you a boon. Speak your wish, and I shall do all within my power to grant it. A boon? You think one little favor will wipe the ledger clean of your streamin' shite? Fortunately, my heart has but one desire. I would have your oath that henceforth you shall no longer oppose the rise of the Machinists, and never again seek to interfere in the operation of Skysteel Manufactory. Is that all? No chests of coin? No promises of power? Myself. The workings of your mind are truly an enigma to me. But you shall have my word on this, nevertheless. Indeed, one should discover the best means by which a fine machinist might contribute to Ishgard's defenses. It is only from behind a sturdy front line that a machinist's full potential is realized. Together with your knights, however, we change the face of war. Of course, you cannot yet do without the masters of the battlefield. One day we will. May we strike fear into the hearts of our enemies and ensure the continued prosperity of the Holy See. Which is very much at this point dead. You did not get the memo. Fare you well, Lord Stefanivin. So, I guess you didn't hear about the Pope. I think technically because you can do this prior to those, but, sorry about that. I know nobles are all sheltered and all that, but, oof. Well, that's that then. Thanks for letting me join you on this one, boss. I think I'm ready to move on now. It's like, I think that's enough near-death experiences for a lifetime. Joy, your aim's as sharp as your harpy tongue. Good work, lass. I nominate you to take over as Master of Marksmanship. Bren, you're too bleeding quiet. But your weapon speaks loud enough, I suppose. Keep firing like you do, and I reckon new students will flock to the workshop to follow in your footsteps. More commentary and videos. I've been working on it. I'm trying.
Are you truly leaving us?
I've never been the kind of bloke as to stick in one place for too long. You've treated me well at the workshop, better than I deserve, I reckon. But it's time I weighed anchor. I'll be seeing you then. Should your travels bring you back to Ishgard, know you always have a place at the manufactory, my friend. Shall we be on our way as well? You're looking at me like you have another expectation. Guess not. Well, I guess that is the last quest for now. If you have future requests, it's going to have to wait until the next patch. Especially since I don't got much time left to even start the other ones. What an extraordinary turn of events. With these troubles behind us, however, I feel the age of machinistry has finally arrived. And you, Bren, have all but outgrown the manufactory. From Spathenstall's departure, there are none who might compete with your skill at firearms. Pray take the lessons you have learned and make your known the machinist trade in every corner of Eorzea. You are, of course, welcome to return to us whenever you desire. We shall be here, ever serving Ishgard as her deadliest spear and sturdiest shield. Before I forget, Rosenthal asks that I encourage you to push the limits of your marksmanship. I believe his exact words were, so that you can blast through any pile of shite what might stand in your way. I'm getting better at his accent, don't you think? Anyway, we get the heated slug shot, so that should change the slug shot that is already on our list. I'm assuming? Under tutelage of Rostenthal's something. This concludes the Machinist quest for Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. So there we go. I'm a machinist, not a man. But with that concludes everything for this series of quests, and I get to go put away all the armor that I obtained, because eventually I'm probably just going to get better stuff anyway. And gotta make room for the next class that I intend to do. We'll see what it is. Some of them I've been doing via live streams, and then ones that I need to do a lot of early game leveling with, I'm doing in my own time. So there's only going to be the 3 Heavensward ones. And then the rest I'm going to do on stream with other stuff. So I gotta go edit these together, and hope I didn't accidentally, can't speak, delete any parts like a dum-dum. And for now, this is where I'm going to call it. So like and subscribe if you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV, and I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye-bye.